Welcome back to Dark Skies. This is Series 7.3, entitled The Hard Questions. Last session, the group, well, sans Zigzag and Calvin, um, went back to the Sunset Hotel, and they recovered the camera system that was installed by Stryker in the kind of offshoot hotel room. It was not an easy matter, and they left a lot of the people dead on the ground as they left. Meanwhile, Zigzag, you coordinated the situation at hand. You called Crystal, told her to meet up with these goofs at a location. You called Blank, told him to meet up with these goofs at a certain location. And Salt, and you called some others. Mainly, Blank handed over a sniper rifle to the group that was loaned out to him a couple of jobs back. You made sure that the group had a vehicle in the way of Pepper, and you made sure that the group had an extra solo with Pepper as well. The report that you'll get back later is that Pepper was DOA, or not DOA, I'm sorry, she died at the scene.
KIA.
KIA, that's the word I wanted. Thank you. And her body was recovered, and you fronted the bill for her proper disposal, not cut up and sent, across Night City, instead burned and put into columbarium.
Of course.
With that being said, you were in the beginnings of a very awkward conversation. Your prisoner, you, and Calvin remain in the garage when they leave. He is bound, probably via zip tie. I'm assuming that's something Stryker would have had. And is
Tape.
Oh, that's right. It was duct tape. And is left on the floor of the garage for you to ask him any questions. He does seem very young, maybe in his mid to late teens. And he does look like he's very scared.
Sorry, you said he does or does not?
Does look scared.
As he should be.
So he's just laying on the floor, kind of
kneeling or sitting, kind of half sitting. He's not
side saddles. Sit.
Yeah.
I got you.
Stryker
Right. I mean,
would have, for the sake of the interrogation, would have brought the kid just a metal folding chair or something.
Oh, we love it.
well, that's what I was going to ask.
Not undone. He doesn't undo his bindings, but sort of helps the kid get up and sit in the chair.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Since we're probably all going in unified, what kind of tactics are we going in with?
Well,
are we trying
real
to?
quick.
It's just you and me.
It's just Zigzag and Calvin. This should be.
Oh.
You basically set them up for the interrogation. Zigzag then went over to Stryker after that was done and said, "Hey, what about the camera?" And then you're like, "Oh yeah, the camera." And Zigzag said, "I couldn't get it while I was at the hotel because I just couldn't do it. So
Right.
you're gonna have to
Camera.
go and do it." And so he sent you lot to go and deal with the camera situation while Zigzag
Gotcha.
and Calvin remained. So this shouldn't be a terribly long bit. But yes, he is prepped in a metal folding chair, taped up, and ready to be asked questions.
You see Zigzag pulls out a brand new pack of cigarettes, and you know he almost never has a new pack on him. Taps a box on his wrist a couple of times, pulls one out, puts it in his mouth, and then looks at the kid and just opens up the box. Do you smoke?
Kind of looks at you yeah.
So if this is the approach that we're going with, Calvin's going to just be chilling in the back corner then.
Arms crossed.
Yeah, I imagine that's the point of Calvin, is to stand there like this, looking angry. If he moves, I'm the one who's gonna crack. I bet I would have even handed you a baseball bat just to like,
just to
hold,
like
just
like
so
I
you've got
was.
it like hanging there. It's loose. He just
I-
knows that if
The
he stands
wolvers
up, he's
are
getting
just
cracked.
the wolvers on one
Yeah,
hand
there
are
you
just
go.
out. They're just out.
So you
Okay.
just got the wolvers out. Oh, he's aware that
On
they're there,
one
but
hand.
Zigzag taps, puts a cigarette in his mouth, lights his thumb, and lets the kid take a few puffs.
Yeah. He lets it hang on his mouth for a second, and letting you know he's done. You kind of pull the cigarette away from him, and he says, what's your angle? Who's crazy enough to come for 6th Street?
Mon ami, do you use the less?
What?
Do you use the less that you sell?
Oh no. Hell no, it's gross. They make it
Have
in
you
a
ever?
junkyard.
Have you ever tried this delight?
No, I don't use lace even when it's clean.
Pourquoi? Sorry, why?
I'm just not. Look, I'm not as invested in everything that I'm not invested in everything that Billy's been, going on with here. Okay, and Steve and the Wraiths made a really good, uh, deal. I mean, it's a really good deal that Billy couldn't refuse. Sell this shit in the streets of Santo Domingo, and we get 80%.
I see. He puts the cigarette back up to him if he wants another.
He takes a hit. And then he kind of looks at you and says, the main reason that we were brought into this situation is because the Wraiths don't have a lot of movement in the city. And, yeah, the shit's bad, but for people who are looking for it specifically, it can be good for them, I guess. I don't know a lot about drugs. I just know it's not clean.
Zigzag went and got that stuff tested.
Yeah,
no?
I sent
And
you a
like
whole
I
blurb
know.
about it.
Yeah, okay. I thought I couldn't remember if you sent me the thing or not.
Basically, for a real life kind of equivalency, if you're familiar with
Yeah.
drugs in real life, it would be like if you're going to buy marijuana and
Yeah.
it's laced with PCP. So lace is already a really hard drug, and what they're basically kind of causing it to have in it because of their not clean tactics.
Right.
makes
I
it
couldn't
way-
remember if it was spiked with a harder thing or if it was spiked with something like harmful. But
it,
yeah.
it being a stronger thing makes it a harmful thing
Right.
because again, we're talking about a
Right.
dwarf that's
Right.
synthetic
It's like
plus
Her-
X.
heroin
Yeah.
versus heroin with fentanyl.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right.
I
That's
understand.
also a good gradient there.
I understand. So, do you understand the impact that these types of things have on
Yeah, man,
other business ventures in the city?
I get it. I understand 6th Street is not really, well liked, especially in South Night City. I get it.
Not liked, and this was not a long-term solution. What happens when you kill all your users?
Yeah. Again, it's Night City, And
Fucking my users too, no?
again, it's Night City, Fuck them.
What a good argument. Can I just say, like,
The kid says,
So-
it's Night City. Fuck him. Like, he seems like, in all honesty, you read him. Make a human perception roll, actually.
Hang on.
Social.
Yeah. Literally the worst I could have gotten.
You think this is one of the hardest kids you've ever met in Night City? I mean, for his age or assumed age, I mean, he's a hard ass. Like, he's gonna grow up and be he's gonna be a black ant, He's gonna be a badass.
come on, Zigzag knows better than that. Even a crit pill can't make him think that.
He just rolled a 5. He just rolled a 5.
Still a 5. It wasn't. It could have been worse. So tell me, you say fuck them, no?
Sure, man. But yeah, I get it. Sure. You can't sell to dead people. Sure. Great. I get it. I'm not in this for the long haul. I mean, and I'm definitely not in this specific part of it, but Billy had promised me that, this would give me recognition in the gang, and I was hoping to do some other shit. Like, there's a lot of activities my gang does that I'm not fond of, but there's some shit that I really want to get down to doing.
And the shit is that.
Well, I was kind of hoping of getting back to the Midwest and getting some money to my family out there. And barring that, getting some real scraps, make a name for myself, earn some respect.
If only there was a family that was good at smuggling people out of the country or the state.
Calvin, you're overhearing this, so you would know that Sixth Street is a lot of Midwest kind of folk who fought in a lot of the corporate wars, came out here and kind of like signed up and sold their bodies to corporations and got lots of crazy shit like implanted in them. And
Do
are
the Gibson? Sorry, you
go
weren't done
ahead.
yet.
They're veterans.
Where-
Like most of the top brass are veterans.
Do the Gibsons have any specific grudge against Sixth Street?
They don't give a shit about Sixth Street. The Wraiths are a problem. So this apparent duopoly that we've got going on here on the bad lace market is problematic because fuck Wraiths.
Calvin's not going to interrupt the current interrogation.
You're just
but
thinking.
He will note that like there's an opportunity to have a mutual beneficial agreement here.
Got it.
I'm glad you and I are thinking the same thing. So Zigzag puts the cigarette back up to the kid if he wants it.
Mhm.
And as he takes a puff, he says, so tell me, how connected are you with this Sixth Street gang? Could you get me a meeting with someone?
I'm relatively new blood, so probably not. But I know where they hang out.
And you think they would be open to a new business arrangement, no?
I mean, the Wraiths are the ones selling the lace. Sixth Street is the one that's moving the lace on the streets.
Of course. But if we cut off the line, there's no more of this on there, no?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, are you saying that you're gonna have Sixth Street buy your supply or something?
There is many opportunities in Night City, no?
Yeah, that's not untrue, he says. He kind of shrugs. Kind of looks like he's almost like begging for the cigarette.
Puts it back up to him.
Takes a hit with kind of like almost like, you saved my life kind of look on his face. And then, as he kind of slowly exhales it out of his nostrils, he says, I can tell you where they meet. I can tell you where you can meet them. And it's typically a no violence zone. So typically, I say typically, I mean, just depends. But the thing is I don't think the top brass of Sixth Street knows about Billy's moves with the Wraiths.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is perhaps his own little how you say, what's the word? He looks at Calvin. He's entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Ah!
He says, yeah. He I thought it was on the level, but doing it for the last couple of months, it's been
Quite a son on my side.
well, I mean, I don't know about that. I just know that it's been pretty shady from my side of it. Like why are we avoiding, Sixth Street proper for, on the level? Why can't I tell anybody about it besides people I know are handling the job? It's kind of it's not good, he says. But so what are you gonna do now? Beat the shit out of me? Like kill me or something?
That seems like more worth sensible, it no?
Calvin pulls the Wolvers in.
kind of nods. I mean, I'm sorry that, what's happening here is affecting your bottom line or whatever.
It's not just mine, my friend.
Sure.
So,
Dangerous product.
And I'm sorry for your friends too, I guess.
would you like to be are you say returned to this spot? What would you like to happen next? Would you like me to kill you? I can.
I mean,
Happy to do it for a friend.
I think it'll be a lot easier to talk about what's going on with higher ups if, I kind of looks down at the ground. Thanks. If I'm alive, kind of looks up at you and says, and I'm sure it's bad stuff. I'm sure it's bad stuff. I get it. But it was making a lot of money. The Wraiths had a pretty good idea on how to pump it out quick. He looks over at the garbage truck and says, I mean, if you look at the back, it's pretty much full of the shit. You may not like the supply, but the quantity is insane, right?
That is true.
And it's
There
not
will be uses for it.
it's not all bad.
Matters.
Like, it's hit and miss. Like,
I will decide what is done with it.
sure.
As for you, and he pulls out one of his multi-tools, which is just like a little saw knife, cuts the duct tape from behind him. You can stand up, hands him a full
Cigarette.
brand new cigarette, and lights it for him.
And he kind of as you're doing it, you see him kind of notice the box and inspect it. Like, he's focusing on the brand.
Yeah, he watched me open it brand new.
No,
That was
when you first
Yeah.
did it, he was kind of in a different state of mind. Now he's
Right.
like, okay, maybe I get to go buy some of these after.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's at about this point in the conversation that you're kind of understanding through text and phone calls that the camera recovery gig is in process.
I have an out of character question.
Shoot.
Do we already know where it's being made?
Somewhere inside of the junkyard. You do not have a location on that yet.
We don't have the specific spot.
And the kid doesn't know.
Doesn't know.
He can hook us up with a meeting with the higher ups in 6th Street Gang,
Correct.
but they don't even know about the rate agreement that's going on overall.
Between Billy and whoever the rate contact was.
Would Billy be a good source of information?
If you can find him, sure. Do you ask about Billy, Zigzag?
Yeah, I'm assuming I would ask if he thought. Well, one of the things I was going to ask after I let him loose was, so tell me, do you think a meeting with the 6th Street Gang is better, or perhaps I should talk to Billy?
I mean, yeah, you can meet with her, I guess. She's over at the Sunset Hotel. Flash scene to last session. Literally the end point of the fight as you're murdering the person who was in charge at the Sunset Hotel. This is not known to Zigzag. It will be revealed later, but for an out-of-character note, just to you understand where we're at, the contact or
Excellent.
the leader of this excursion, drug-wise, is dead.
No way.
Again, you two don't know, but the audience.
I didn't finish. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Billy.
I cut her fucking head
You
off.
cut her fucking head off. She killed Pepper, but you did kill her.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, wait.
also,
What's even better
bomb
is
the
I cut her
drop. I didn't
fucking-
finish, so I found out just now Pepper's dead.
Oh, yeah. Well, no,
Rip.
in character, you don't know.
Yeah, in character I don't know. As a person, it's like
Yeah.
rip that character.
She was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He was.
But he says, yeah, she's at the Sunset Hotel. And you're kind of thinking in your head,
Oh fuck. There's a strong possibility everyone in that building is dead. Whoops. No, perhaps there's no, honest. If she's honestly, that is what he's thinking. Is if he sent all of those solos into that building, they have a tendency to fuck up and kill everyone. So like, I don't even want to go back there and find Billy. No, we're gonna skip Billy and go talk to the higher ups.
Yeah.
At this
But I'm
point-
gonna wait until the rest of the team comes back. Like
well,
I would say, can we get you perhaps a drink while we wait for the others, and like have Calvin.
the
get
way
us
I've
up.
got it narratively, just to make sure you understand, you don't have our boy here when you regroup. You're at the office when you regroup. So again,
Okay.
it is a while before they'll come back because they're like 30 minutes
Then
out.
what we would do is get back in the truck. I'm gonna give him one of my burner phones and drop him wherever the 6th Street
To set up a meeting.
place is, to have him use the burner phone to contact me to set up a meeting with whoever he can, the highest up he can at that gang, to
Got
talk
it.
about the Billy situation
Got it.
because it looks
Well,
bad for them.
before we send him off, then I would recommend that we ask him, like, is there anything he needs from us for assurances of like we're serious?
I think the burner phone is enough.
Deal.
Like, it's a burner phone straight to me. If they question him, he just pulls out the phone, calls, and I'll answer. It's an agent in my head.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
It's a
sense.
it's a secure line to an agent to me. Like,
To the person that matters. Yep.
right.
Never mind.
I
Forget.
imagine like Zigzag has a way of setting up call forwarded numbers to these burners so he can kill that line if like the burner phone is compromised so it can't be tracked. Like, I know fucking
I mean, you could
Netrunners.
still-
I don't need to worry about like that. The burner phones are set up specifically for this purpose. Like,
I mean, you can still
yeah,
ask.
yeah, we could ask, but he has the burner phone.
You know, it's a
like
very
it's
it's a valid
zigzag
point.
thing.
It's a valid point. Yeah.
It's a
Your
reason I
rep,
always keep 3 of them on me.
your rep does answer that question.
If
'cause
that's
you're-
fair, John.
Yeah.
So that's-
Zigzag is the man that sent a subway.
So
Never
you get the detailed report. You understand that they have to go and put the dead to rest, and it's getting late in the evening. It's probably somewhere around 11 p.m. or midnight, actually, once the group actually congregates at the office. You do get a text from the burner phone that states that he says, Rick Morton is ready to meet you, and he sends over the location. The location in question, you know, is a kind of hub of the 6th Street gang. It's the Holy Angels Church in Santo Domingo. It's not too far away from their kind of main place of operation on 6th Street. It is a very much kind of old style Roman Catholic church. It's probably one of the older buildings in the entire city.
Flashbacks.
Okay.
He says, Rick would like to meet with you specifically.
Ask if I may bring my driver.
You get a 1 sec. That's fine.
Okay.
We have drones we can send out to survey the area beforehand. Also,
Sure. If you drive,
is Zigzag just trusting of the whole deal before I make that choice before without his consent? So I would approach Zigzag and be like, "Yo, do we trust the spot that we're being taken to?"
Are we meeting with them before the rest of the crew comes back?
no, this is after. So you got the crew. You can discuss what you want at this point. You're not going to the church yet.
My thought was to only go in with you, but to leave like Sugar or Striker or someone. Oh, do we have the truck still? Yeah, with the truck outside on
We
the
got both
guns.
trucks,
So
yeah,
like
we got both
shit
trucks.
happens.
Yeah, you also
We
got
can-
a station wagon now.
Right.
And a station wagon.
So like we
And an
if-
AV4.
we have options. So I was thinking like take the truck, have like someone wait in the car while you and I go in to have this meeting. And like we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't do something while we're there, but I want one person watching the truck. I don't trust this neighborhood.
Deal.
Fair?
Absolutely. Zigzag. Calvin would accept that Zigzag has more experience in tense negotiations than he does. Calvin's only familiar with Outland deals.
Striga would be more than willing to provide some like Overwatch.
And if we put Sugar on the guns, we're no.
Yeah.
You have
Sugar
backup.
is going to be in our car on the gun. So we'll run with 3, but you still have the other vehicle. So Striga and Striker and maybe we still have Blank and Salt.
Blank wasn't
And
good for the job. He just dropped
Oh,
off the
sorry.
rifle.
Just dropped off the rifle.
We
Okay,
have
then
Icarus
Salt.
still.
He was hanging with
And-
Salt. Icarus is still available. Icarus is pretty beat the fuck up still from
Right. Icarus.
The last 2 jobs.
We should probably
rest
let
if
him take a break.
he's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
cashed out
for
on the
real.
couch, to be
Yeah,
completely
that's
honest.
totally
Yeah.
fair. But if
I
Striga and
wasn't thinking
Striker
when I said
and
Crystal
Salt
would have left. Salt's available. That's fine.
want to take a vehicle and do a drive by ahead of time in front of us before the meeting, like 15, 20 minutes, do an inconspicuous drive by.
Salt
I'm okay
in
with that.
his car is super conspicuous. So he is
Right.
going to drive the station wagon for the duration. And
But yeah, and then the 2 of you can be extra eyes to
He-
see if you can assess any sort of threat from the.
he says, "Hey, I've been helping you with these little side jobs. I'm not asking for any cash or anything because I'm doing okay in the last couple of gigs you threw my way. But this station wagon's pretty roomy. Do you mind after the gig if I keep this?"
I can't see a reason I would use it more than you.
Hell yeah. He
Salt
he-
homeless.
You see, he lives in his sick ass sports car. You see him
Yeah.
throw stuff into the back of the station wagon, and so he's gonna have like a car
I'm sorry.
parked
getting the
next to
station
a
wagon?
car. He's gonna live
Salt.
in the station wagon, and he's gonna drive the sports car.
Oh, Salt.
He's got a home and
Yeah.
fucking
Salt is
garage.
technically homeless. I mean, properties in Night City are not cheap. And
Who's gonna be hanging with Sugar? Because remember, she's like, remember, I can't drive.
Well, then it would have
he's-
to be Striker, wouldn't it? If Striga's driving themselves.
No, we are driving and parking. All you're doing is staying on the guns and shooting anyone who comes too close to that fucking truck.
yeah.
Like you can fire off a warning shot into the ground with the gun before anyone gets, but like the point is so someone is at the truck so we don't like walk out to a gang of people standing in front of our truck holding AKs to us. Like
You don't
with
think
an
we should
ambush
have
there.
someone kind of ready to step on the gas?
Striker can drive.
I mean if we
Muted.
want.
You're muted, Chris.
I'm on mute. Striker came to stay in the car with Sugar.
What?
Well, just in case. Well, you said
Oh, you said can stay. Can stay.
can.
CAN. Okay, sorry.
Yes, not can. No,
No.
I'm not gonna fucking stay in the car with Sugar. Fuck.
I heard can't too.
Okay.
I also
And
heard
I was
can't.
about to
I
say,
think your mic popped or something.
popped.
It was really
So,
funny.
yeah.
Grandpa, what is your fucking problem?
I thought we were cool.
Which
I'm
kind
barely
of,
old enough to be your dad.
which I thought was
Okay,
gonna,
Grandpa.
I thought I thought that you were playing off of the Calvin's mistrust of Striker because he's slightly tied to Militech thing.
Oh shit! Hold on a second. Wait. What are people who were born in the 2000s called right now? What are they called? Zoomers.
Gen
right?
Z?
Zoomers.
Zoomers?
So you would call Striker a Zoomer as a derogatory for age because it's
Oh,
1945.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Zoomer.
Okay, Zoomer.
Okay, Zoomer.
We finally
Math,
got him in roleplay.
Striker's a fucking
Let's go,
silver.
millennials. We got him.
So, I mean, we do have a railgun and
Yeah.
a sniper rifle.
I'm not expecting anything. I'm just going for a meeting. Like, I just wanted one person to watch the truck while we were in for the meeting. I think we're overdoing this. You know what I mean?
fine.
Like, I want if you guys want to do a drive-by to be safe ahead of time, great.
Sure.
But like,
so Salt will report after doing a quick run with the station wagon that there are 6th Street gang members kind of on the street corners and out and about, but it doesn't look like they're in any formations or anything. It just looks like they're, doing night city shit.
Yeah.
Calvin would report, or sorry, not Calvin, but whoever else runs pass-bys would report the same thing. That being said, if you drive up to the church, there is a small little parking lot nearby, which is currently empty, with the exception of one car. The car that is sitting there is a very old car, which Calvin very quickly kind of recognizes. Not as a car that you've seen before, but as a car that is worth noting. This is a very beautiful, very cherry red, old, like 80s Mustang.
Oh,
Classic muscle car. And you're looking at it, and it doesn't look like it's been up converted to used Chew-2. It looks like somehow they're still getting gasoline and using it in that vehicle.
as technically a diesel punk guy, Calvin would be about that.
Yeah. It's a very nice car. Also, cherry red, as I mentioned, and you can see that there are blue bars that are kind of drawn out on the sides with stars in them. And if you look at it from like a distance, kind of from an altitude, you would see that the 6th Street Gang logos on the top.
Cringe.
Calvin's taking a picture of that car.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So, I mean, what's Striga doing? Is Striga staying at the shop?
And Zigzag, you would know by reputation that car. That car belongs to Rick Morton, who is the leader of the 6th Street Gang.
Who
Or,
we're going to meet.
as they call him, the general of the 6th Street Gang. You head on into the church?
yeah, I imagine after I let Calvin take his time taking pictures, we like walk in together.
Okay. You
Calvin's
walk in.
taking like at least 2 pictures.
Looks like there's 3 individuals kind of up towards the front. I don't know if you've ever been in a Catholic church, but they are kind of like
Born and raised, baby.
on their knees, on like
Same.
those little
Same.
like cushion pads. I forget what they're called. Praying. Looks like they're going through kind of like some sort of kind of long prayer cycle. Some shenanigans therein. It looks like there's a very old looking man in priest garb. Sitting kind of up near the oh my god, why can't I think of the name? The lectern, and he's just kind of casually, scrolling through his agent. He kind of looks up when you enter in, but then kind of disregards and goes back to his thing. And then you see that there's one individual kind of seated alone, with like a 10-gallon hat on, and sitting there kind of like at the pew with just enough space for one person to sit next to him close to the aisle, and no more space than that.
So in one of the like second or third to last pews of the aisle, you'll see Zigzag kind of look at Calvin without saying anything and just tap it and like expect him to sort of kneel or sit in like one of those back pews. So you can see everything in front of us. But like I'm basically like he's up here at like the second one, he stops, like just taps the pew and like looks at him like stay in this one.
Calvin would understand from previous family jobs that this is where you take the sentry position.
Okay.
Observe and not be seen.
And you move up, Zigzag?
Yeah, he gets up to the pew, kneels before the altar, gets in, crosses, does his like formalities, and
You see the guy with the hat kind of look down at you, kind of like curiously. You can see that the man that you're looking at, absolutely kitted out Militech hardware. Like, with the gear that this guy has, he could probably break you into like 1,000 pieces with like the song book in front of him. Like literally, like just the arms, everything, just kitted out in the best hardware of the 2020s, 2030s, like absolutely a killing machine. And this goofy hat. Um, he looks down at you and he says, "I appreciate the respect. It's really nice of you. Not
Of
a lot of folks I
course.
have come out here go through the rigmarole, but appreciate it. Not much we got besides the soul. Body got taken by the corpse. But we found a way to congregate. One of the most important things is ritual for us. The other important thing is community. Can't have a community with people trying to make their own way, though, you know what I mean?
I understand.
I heard about Billy. I'm assuming those shooters were yours.
I had my connections to them.
That's fair. Don't worry about it if I sound threatening or anything. Nothing's gonna happen here.
I did not expect that.
You see him kind of do a quick one of these, and then he goes, "Your driver?"
Is a member of the Gibson family.
Now those are some folks that I like.
They do good work.
You're doing a lot of winning here, man. We just met. I know you by reputation. You work with Anika.
We
Not terribly fond of her, but I suppose that there's probably niceties to her that I don't understand.
There's a benefit to having her handle her work and me do mine, no?
Sure, but my main issue with her is a lot of her movements came through and around San Domingo, and we never got called out on it. Never got told about those movements. We kind of got ignored. And I get it. You city folk, well, we're all city folk, right? But you kind of South Night City and your Watsons, um, you kind of have an idea about us that might be a little off. Problem with 6th Street is, like I was saying, community is really important. We have a lot of values we very much focus on. Everybody in Night City can say they're a hard case. They've been fucked over by one thing or another. Corpse, cops, fucking just other punks. Doesn't matter. Everyone's coming for everyone. The reason why we got together and do what we do is because we all got fucked by the same one. Bunch of corporations. Decided it was a great idea to bring out a bunch of fleshy bodies, chrome them out, and have them beat the shit out of each other. Not exactly the greatest way of life, but when you're living in hell out in the Midwest, or you're living in hell out here in the streets of Night City, you'll take anything to make you just a little bit more stronger so you have some fucking agency in anything. Or so you thought, you know? They tell you to kill, you kill. And we did. Fuck ton. Some of us got cracked out on all sorts of dwarfs. They were feeding us. And that's one of the things 6th Street don't abide. We don't like dealing with drugs. Leave that to the Valentinos. If they want to deal in our lands, fine, whatever. Fuck it. People like to get what they get. We don't like dealing. There's also some fuckers who take away agency from some folks and call it 6th Street. And I know that gets a lot of reputation out in the ways. We kind of try and deal with our pruning, The bush grow too wild, we kill our own.
Whole forest to burn down if you don't take out the underbelly.
That's it. One bad apple, they say.
Of course.
It's funny as hell that the typical response to one bad apple is that, it's no problem. Leave it. It's fine. That's not the way of 6th Street. You don't hear a lot about what we do to ourselves. Because we're not trying to do a reputation. We're not some fucking PR firm or nothing. We handle our business. Some of us handle their business and they get handled. That's it. And Billy was one of those dumb motherfuckers who was doing something he shouldn't have been doing. Especially with the Wraiths. We had an agreement with them a while ago. They wouldn't move through our areas. I like them Gibson boys. They at least tell us they're coming through. That's how we found out a lot about some of the people we've been dealing with in our own ranks.
So, I have a question.
Shoot.
You said this guy had a history with Militech.
Oh, yeah.
Does Striga's previous
You
life?
are a private security representative in that past life, but you were never put into a corporate war. The corporate wars were during the 20s and 30s.
Okay.
So you were kind of more like late 30s, kind of like doing spec op shit in like corporate espionage, murdering people, assassinating people, the like. These people were out in like the wasteland shooting each other with tanks and shit. Right.
Okay.
Very different. But you understand these people. Like if you eventually get to know these people, you understand these people because you probably sold your body and your
Right.
your life away for Militech when you did.
It's like looking into a mirror of the future.
Yep. Just he's got a way cooler hat. Um,
Fair.
Anywho, he says, so you kind of did me a favor, but I figured you were doing yourself a favor too.
2 birds, 1 stone, right?
Yeah. Nick's a pretty good kid. I think he'll go far. I mean, he was
I
just
do
trying,
like him.
trying to make some money for himself and trying to get on with it, but I get it. You know, somebody offers you a job that sounds too good to be true, and he's someone you trust. Well, you don't worry about the true.
Sometimes it's easier to look the other way than to dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Do you switch accents?
What
Yeah.
is the accent?
Yeah, 100%.
You did the accent switch. You came back.
What's it called when you do that? When you like?
It's the what is it?
Oh no, there's like a terminology like when like people like
Oh, it's code switching.
code
code
switching. That's
switching.
what it is.
Yeah,
Code switching.
yeah. I 100% Zigzag can like perfectly code switch now to any situation.
He nods and says, shown a lot of deference, shown a lot of respect, and I appreciate that. You don't have to do all that, but what I'll tell you
Can't
is
help
this.
it. I like this. I spent a lot of time with people like you. They're great conversations to be had if you open your ears to them, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. So what I'm saying to you here is this: you did me a favor. We didn't have to deal with this Billy because we didn't know the situation was unfolding as it was. I'm pretty sure I've got a couple of hard asses who are heading on over to that junkyard position, finding it, dealing with it. You can trust me on that, or you can go check it out yourself. I don't give a fuck. Just, I'm not gonna call ahead. So if you see any of my kids running around with heaters, you probably need to hide your head. Still our territory, all said. But yeah, I think our business is through. I don't think there's anything you can offer me, and I sure as hell don't think there's anything I'm going to offer you. Except mutual appreciation. Tips the hat. Now, you said that boy back there is one of the Gibson kids. Is he the one that's been doing all that street racing lately? Couple months back?
Does Zigzag know about that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
He'll just nod his head.
I tell him to stop being so fucking good. He's knocking my kids off the road, causing me some pretty big bets. Kind of looks back over at you. Say hi to your daddy for me. And then turns back to Zigzag. I've got some praying and shit to do, so
Just pushing Calvin to even more want to be the head of the family.
I trust you know your way out.
I'll leave you to it. And if I'm in your territory again, I'll be sure to knock.
Appreciate it.
He like steps out, kneels as he gets out.
He holds up his agent just very nonchalantly and casually. You know that tapping the agents connects.
Yep.
And he then gets right to it. Very diligent little Catholic man, going about his well, not little. He's fucking massive. He's easily 6'7". But yeah, he goes about the process of. I'm not a Catholic. I have no idea how it works, but I know it's tedious.
It is incredibly tedious. 100%. It is repetitive and tedious and stupid.
And that is what he's doing. And seems to be having a good time with it.
I guess no disrespect to Catholics, but I'm never going back.
No disrespect to any Catholics watching, but we hear it's not that great. Fair enough. You head out. You see that some people are kind of scoping out the truck, but it's not the horrified situation where you thought they were going to surround the vehicle. And Sugar, they haven't moved close enough to the vehicle to warrant you kind of having any kind of ill-toward reaction. But you can see Zigzag and them and the 6th Street gang kind of fans away from you lot. Not, moving to cause any issue or anything.
And just before we cut the Sugar, I would tell Zigzag that Calvin does respect the 6th Street gang as a gang of people who just do good for their family, but they have, in Calvin's eyes, they've lost their way in that they haven't stayed a cohesive family and been loyal to each other. They're more just prospering for the sake of prospering. They're a unit of individuals, which is still cool, but not the same as a family.
It's like a maid family.
Yeah, which is a valid family in Cyberpunk.
A found family.
Yeah. It's just not how Calvin's family specifically works.
Right.
Well, Calvin's family is also like a found family.
It is somewhat also a made family, yes.
But the people understand that the family's the family. Like there's a
family,
difference.
Yeah. There's like a literal family, and then the rest of the family is kind of like
family.
Yeah, satellite around it.
No, they're family also. Fuck it.
Oh.
Yeah. When
a very extended family.
Coomer wasn't related to you, but you felt that as if a brother died. Like that shit was real. And yeah, his his handle was Coomer, so whatever, shut up.
It was intentional.
It was intentional.
They were cool.
He sits back and he's stroking his gun all the time. Yeah, his name was Coomer.
Yep.
He was a sniper, outrider.
I wish back then I had the forethought to try and save that gun.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Well,
you also didn't have the forethought to, get that body because you saw it and they flew off with it.
I don't have a lot of.
Do you really want to touch that gun?
Yes. It was a very high-powered sniper rifle and it was very clean.
Yes, John was obvious about how good that gun was, and I was just like, I'm gonna break that gun out of respect.
Is Striga waiting outside with Sugar and the others?
I assume so, yeah.
So while all this is going on inside and they're sitting in the car and it's kind of like no one's talking, nothing's really going on. Is Sugar drinking an energy drink?
Of course.
So after a while, Striga would kind of look over and say in their robot modulated voice, "Can I get one of those?"
I mean, you could. Are you gonna pay for it? Forget it. Here. Took too long.
That's so nice.
Thanks. And he watches Striga pops it open and then pulls out a metal straw from one of their many pouches and plops it into the can. And then does that thing where they pull their mask up and all you see is their lower face and
their
they
mouth.
just start and they're just
just
Thank
don't
you.
get used to it.
On the ride back, whatever conversations you want to have. But the main thing is go ahead.
Did we figure out where they're making the bad drugs? Are we gonna go blow them up?
I think he said he's taking care of
They're making them in the junkyard, aren't they?
Well, no, it sounded like
Everybody talk at once.
It sounded like Rick was very anti Billy's actions, and we basically solved the problem he was going to solve himself. So it is shut down.
Well, I mean,
He
Yeah,
said
I
he
mean, that
was
was,
sending
in
he said he was
character.
sending a team to go and take care of the drug operation. We can go and check on it if we want to, but he doesn't give a fuck. He's taking care of it whether we take care of it or not. We took care of Billy, he's taking care of the drug operation in the junkyard. So we don't have to worry about it if we don't in Zigzag's mind. The 6th Street gang is going to do a better job than we can right now. We need to recoup from taking out Billy and the gang.
Plus, there's less risk for us.
Yeah, I mean, if
That
we
was an
have-
in character question, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
He answered in character. The problem was is so did everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so
Sorry.
kind of like
So in character, we're gonna
That is
assume that
super
everyone
fair,
started
and I'm
talking at
sorry.
once.
Yeah.
And so Sugar just checked out. And
Very
everyone's
fair.
talking and she's just not listening anymore.
That
As
is
soon
super fair.
as Zigzag sees her check out, he's gonna just write it in a text so you get it on your fucking message. Like I can see you check out and I know you're not listening to anyone. He just writes it like in 3 bullet points.
Okay.
You're welcome. Like I know how to communicate with you.
you make it back to the office. You have the garage with the truck, and it's late, as I mentioned. If there's anything else you want to engage in for the remainder of the evening, go on for it. But I assume not, and we'll probably be moving into the next day. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't have anything I need to engage in. That's
Is there
I
anything?
would-
Go ahead.
I would say Stryker would start work on that truck that we got.
Oh, the station wagon?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it seemed like Zigzag was going to give it to Salt.
Oh, fuck it then.
You
Well,
can
you
try
can
and talk
start-
him out of it.
the truck needs work.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can like upfit the fucking garbage truck and turn it into a tank.
Oh yeah, that's
have
what
the
I was,
garbage truck.
That's what I was referring to. The garbage truck.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you meant the station wagon.
No,
Oh, yeah, no,
station
I'm talking
wagon is
about,
gone.
like-
Truck we still have.
So
I'm working on outfitting the garbage truck.
you spend a good amount of time unloading the materials inside. And what you notice is that it is mostly boxes that are marked with All Foods kind of logos. And when you pick them up, they have a certain kind of heft to them, like they're all pretty much identical. When you open them up, there's just like paper packaging, in there, like just shreds of like paper that have been thrown in there to kind of keep the contents inside, almost like Easter baskets. And you note that they have the lace in them, as has been, noted. But a couple of the boxes, exactly a couple, 2 boxes, have a different weight differentiation to them, and it feels like they're quite heavier as you're unloading the truck.
Striga would help Stryker with the unloading and just an extra set of hands to
Yeah,
help him work
That
on the
makes sense.
truck.
That's fine.
Hold the flashlight.
Yeah, hold the flashlight. They've got one on their helmet.
I've got night vision.
Oh, that
in my
means-
eye.
Also, I think so does Striga. But yeah, so as you're unloading, Stryker, I think you would be the one that notices that these 2 boxes out of the some 50 or so boxes have a different weight to them. Do you want to open these ones?
They're heavier. Is my text scanner is that a wireless thing or is that like I hook it up to a machine?
So
To
text
scan.
scanners typically are connected to a device or tracked to a device to allow you to kind of scan it specifically. But they do
Gotcha.
also allow you to kind of get readings on things that are nearby.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do that. I've also got like infrared. I'm gonna see turn on my infrared vision, try to scan it because
There's
There's
no
like
heat
a-
signatures. In fact, the boxes don't really have a heat signature, but these ones seem to have the opposite of a heat signature,
They're cold.
like heat sinks or some sort of
okay.
cold.
Would I be familiar with anything of that kind?
Based on that, it's something that's frozen or something that's in cold storage.
I'm gonna take it, drag it, or carry it.
It's not so much heavier that you can't lift it. It's
Okay.
just
I'm gonna
heavier than the other ones.
I'm gonna take it and put it on the other side of the garage from the truck,
Mhm.
and just really carefully just take the box cutter or whatever and just open it up.
Once you pop it open, you see a very clearly recognizable white box with a trauma team logo on top. You've seen these boxes before in Odette's lab. These are storage containers for body parts, organs, typically.
Is there an iguana inside?
There's not an iguana inside. That'd be a great way to get the pet, though, right? I know, it looks like it's some sort of medical, probably bio.
So I'm gonna we open the box. I see like whatever the red cross on it or whatever it
yeah,
has.
It's the trauma team logo.
So I just look over at Striga, and I just reach down and open up the cooler.
Okay. And inside, you are greeted to what appears to be a human heart. From school, you would recognize the organ. It's pretty clearly noticeable outside of other organ types. This one appears to be biologically, normal. Doesn't appear to have any kind of artifice or cybernetics on it. Looks like it is a brand new-ish art.
Striga says deadpan. Someone's probably gonna be missing that.
At least it wasn't a bomb.
The other container has the exact same thing.
Oh, 2 hearts. The doctor, no!
A police call box appears behind the garbage truck. It just materializes. Joking.
Yeah, right.
'Cause I wouldn't even know which doctor I'd want to throw into this hellscape.
I mean, it'd just be I can just imagine.
It's David Tennant. It's
David
always David Tennant.
David
Don't be
Tennant.
ridiculous.
I don't know,
When
Matt
given
Smith
the
was-
option.
That was good.
It's like Doctor Who, but the
Or
companion.
John Hurt. I'll give you a John Hurt pick.
I didn't really watch past Matt, but I would say,
I actually really like Peter Capaldi.
Okay, yeah, I never really got into him.
David Tennant for me.
I didn't make it all the way through Matt Smith's arc, and unfortunately, I don't know her name, but she seems cool. I almost came back to it for her.
The writers kind of let her down, though.
Yes, 100%.
The actor is great, but
Moffat's
the
not so
writers
good.
really let her down.
I noticed that in Matt Smith when it switched from. Anyway,
Babies.
With
Yeah.
that much content, it's just
Moving
hard to hard to keep up good writing. Honestly.
Who cares?
Yeah, so we're just looking at this heart,
Pair of Hearts,
these hearts, and I'm just like,
which was the alternate name for the
Of
episode,
all
by the way.
of the characters to find a
Pair of
two
Hearts.
hearts.
Right.
the 2 who need it the most.
Right.
The fucking Tin Men.
Fucking hilarious.
So
Yeah, we should probably hold on to these. They could be worth some money to the right people.
Yeah, let's put them in the fridge.
Yeah, Striga puts the lid back on one of the boxes. They carry him over.
Just put it in the fridge for
From
someone
the
to
from the
find.
couch, Sugar's like, I don't know what the hell you gonks got over there, but if you move my energy drinks out of the fucking fridge, I swear to God.
they're at the garage, so it's like a different location. Like it's not the same office location, but if you're still
Well,
there, that's fine.
Her spidey senses tingle, and she says it anyway.
She's watching the security cam footage from inside of the garage and
There you
comes
go.
over the loudspeaker. That's it. There's a Bluetooth speaker that's hooked up
Perfect.
inside of the room.
She's using her net running to infiltrate the security
Now with the
and the
text,
PA system.
with the tech scanner, you would note that the truck's machine link is relatively new. Like it's pretty well expensive, as is the whole truck. As I mentioned, it is a newer truck, but it would seem, based on what you're scanning, that there's a lot wrong internally with this truck. And as you're kind of playing at it, you notice that there are data logs of what happens with the truck operationally. When
Oh, it's a black box.
yeah, well, no, it's like when a mechanic plugs
Yeah.
into your car's
yeah,
computer,
Right.
and it kind of tells you what's wrong, but it also tells you when things were wrong,
Yeah.
because it's more updated, it's the future. It kind of tells you exactly what happened and when. And
Yeah,
once
we
you
got
actually,
stuff like that at work.
What you actually realize is that this vehicle was decommissioned and was supposed to be reclaimed by WM. And you would note that if it was reclaimed, there'd be a log beat after that. But the last log beat that seems to be official and not just things that are happening wrong inside of the vehicle was that ping for it to be picked up by WM and basically refurbished or repaired. And that never happened, apparently. The truck just kept on rolling. Take with that information, what you will.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You said it according to the log. It was supposed to be decommissioned.
Yeah, and repaired or refurbished.
Right. And then none of that stuff happened, and it just kept going.
Yeah, and it continued to ping off like problems.
Okay.
There are 3 oil leaks.
Exactly.
Well,
Damn.
we got our work ahead of us.
Striga grabs a wrench.
Okay.
And I'm like, my arm, I like fold, like the hand like folds down or whatever, and like my little tool things pop out.
If you're going to work on the vehicle, it's definitely going to be a difficult task in kind of repairing the whole thing. It will take a few days, probably the better part of a week. With that said, though, I'd like the 2 of you to go ahead and make basic tech rolls.
Tech.
It's under tech.
Basic
It'll be
tech.
basic tech. All right.
So, can I spend luck points on this?
Sure. If you have any left for the series, that's fine.
I'm not sure how they regenerate.
They
or
regenerate at the
anything.
end of the series.
Okay, what is a series?
That would be, this is session technically 4 of the full 7, the 7th series. So if you spent luck points last session and you're out, you're out.
Okay.
I think
So-
I spent 1 last session.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, yeah, we did shell out a shitload of luck last
A
session.
lot of people were throwing luck on that last session. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've got 2 points left.
Sure.
Yeah, I won't spend any luck. So
Okay.
this is under technique.
Technique, and it'll be basic tech. Okay. So Striker, Striga is not getting in the way and is functionally capable of, using tools. But you do feel like a lot of the time you're telling Striga what to do. And it's not Striga kind of like jumping to like solve the problems or understanding problems. It's more or less you going, well, this is what we're doing now, and this is what I need you to do. So Striga effectively becomes a tool of Striker as Striker maneuvers around the engine over the next few days. During that time, Icarus is on the heel, on the mend. Sugar, Zigzag, and Calvin are kind of free to function as they please. I'm going to start with Sugar. You would know that Icarus is basically bedridden for a good duration. The wound that he had did reopen, and he is seeing or having visits from Tark at the office coming in to make sure he is healing all right. And the leg is, it's a hot mess. But he won't ever dance again. But he'll be fine for murder and running.
But he loves dancing.
He's not going to be very good at it. It's going to be like, because it's his right leg that got nailed out, so it's effectively going to be 2 left feet.
Well, thankfully, you don't need dancing legs to watch cartoons.
That's
so.
true. And then, I mean, everyone else is kind of, Striker and Striga mainly are in the garage pretty much all the time. But is there anything that you want to do with this kind of slotted amount of downtime or after time to kind of
well, that night, as we're getting back to the office, Sugar would text Quinta, "Hey, you stupid gonk! I totally miss you. Have you been doing anything for our mutual friend?" And then she'll like send like a little emoji that's like of a little cat, but like in a business suit.
She replies, "Hey Chumba, I haven't really gotten much unfortunately. What about you? And then cat with a question mark over its head.
Haven't gotten a lot of direction from them. Just here at Zigzag's place for now.
Does he have any work? Smirking cat.
Yeah, but it's not our kind of work, if you know what I mean. Cat like holding up two guns
Oh,
and like moving them like this.
and then reply, "Fuck that." Cat with a cloud rating over its head.
And she'll say, I actually killed a bunch of people. It was totally fucking sick.
You crazy bitch is the reply.
Okay, so I mean I basically just wanted to gauge what the fuck is going on with them, but it sounds like they're not really giving us any guidance.
From what it sounds like, I mean, it's true. Like, she must understand what you mean.
Oh yeah. I mean I figured as much for sure. So I mean yeah, so I'm confirming that yes, it's she is,
She is.
and that also there's doesn't seem that to be that much going on. I mean I don't think that she would lie to me if she's like being
reason
honest,
to.
like honest about the connection. So I guess if there isn't any work to be done, would probably head home and prepare to do just oh shit. Okay, wait. So I need to do some basic shopping and I need to also hunt down ammo for my gun.
Okay. Zigzag is very capable of acquiring munitions, small arms
Yeah.
munitions, so that's not a problem. Basically at cost in the book. No issues
But it's
there.
isn't it weird? Because it's like
Smart
a
gun
weird
ammo?
gun?
No, yeah, he can get it.
Okay.
Especially now that you have some time to kind of flesh it out. It was kind of more, the one contact, the one guy that you were buying from. He's not
Yeah.
able to get any. Zigzag is.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would say, pretty much sky's the limit on the smart gun ammo.
Okay, cool.
And it also seems like outside of where you were, it's not as big a deal. Like because you were kind of getting that near South Night City. It seems like there was a lot less opportunity to buy weaponry and munitions there. But up near Japantown, where Zigzag's able to kind of get the contacts, they're not in the middle of combat zones.
Got it.
But yeah, Calvin, is there anything that you want to engage in during this kind of after time? Muted.
Not specifically the like having resolved the whole like bad drugs coming into Night City. Like the only thing he routinely takes care of is just checking in with Missy because
Okay.
Missy.
And she's doing great. She said she'll be there next week. But you get a call like the second day of your deal. The phone call's coming from Daddy.
Pick up.
The fuck did you do, boy?
What do you mean?
Wraiths are all stirring out and about here in the sands, causing us a lot of headache, especially since I sent some of my best outriders up with that fucking truck.
We sorted out a bad drug situation with the 6th Street boys, the 6th Street gang, but their ties with the Wraith were superficial.
The fuck are you saying? 6th Street was
What?
dealing with the Wraiths?
Like they had someone on the inside reaching outside of their like domain to mess with the Wraiths, but
The fuck? Okay. Well, that's new to me. Sure. Look,
was it causing trouble for the family? What's going on?
they're moving around the sands a bit more than they should be. Got outriders of theirs running around causing problems for our folk. And it seems like I don't know if they found it yet or if, they're just surrounding it for no reason, but they're causing us issue getting into our tunnelway to South California. And That's a problem. Especially since we have Tyrell refugees still wanting to come out to Night City, and we're moving them for pretty good money.
I think I got some time right now. I might be able to drive out there and like run some distraction.
No, it's fine. I wouldn't want you to get your head cleanly removed from your the rest of you. No, it's fine. I'll see if I can't reach out to Rick or something, maybe get some information about what's going on his side. Just do me a favor. If anything else comes up, Wraiths, ever with you and Frenchie there, go ahead and give me a call. Just cue me in so I'm aware. All right?
You know what? You're right. You're right.
It's no big deal. I mean, there's no way you could have known it was going to cause problems. I don't even know why it's causing problems, whatever you did.
I don't know either.
We'll figure it out. I'm going to call Rick and I'm going to see what I can find out, okay?
Fair enough. Do the same on my end.
Cool. This conversation's pretty innocuous. You're not like, terribly put off by it. It's not like the Wraiths don't get stirred up for no reason, all the time. This doesn't sound too different than when, the very first time the Wraiths kind of got stirred up and you had to move. So, again, it's not...
Calvin's slowly getting farther and farther away from his daddy.
Yeah. It's not,
no.
It's not unusual. It's annoying, but it's not unusual. Anything else that you want to do with the downtime, Calvin? Besides Missy?
Yeah,
Okay.
not specifically.
Zigzag.
Before we move on,
Go.
sorry, can I do a cyber? Oh my god, my brain.
Interface?
Cyberware.
Oh, cyberware? You want to get one installed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do I
okay.
have time for a clinic visit?
Yeah, clinic visit's
Okay.
not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, hospital visits require recovery time. Clinics are just outpatient shit. Zigzag. Is there anything that you want to do during this downtime?
I haven't heard any follow up from Blue Eyes, have I?
Nope. But your contacts have kind of informed you that he has been ID'd. Like, you know who he is. And you know...
Oh, right.
Again, yeah, that we covered that.
Yeah.
But you would also know that he has been taken away from Night City by the corporation. And not much has come up from him beyond that.
Yeah, I honestly covered most of the work that needed to be covered at this point.
Okay.
I'm kind of just waiting for things to shake out.
I'm going to shift gears then to Stryker and Striga real quick. Stryker and Striga, do you tell Zigzag about the two human hearts?
If he comes around.
Okay. Yeah, he'd probably check in, see what's going on with the truck.
If he comes around and is like, oh, how's it? How? That way, that's Italian.
Oh, that's something I need to do. I need to start moving this fucking lace. I forgot. I have fucking thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
Of
Sure.
dollars
He'd be like,
of
oh,
fucking
how's
lace
that
that needs
going?
to get
And then Striker's like,
tested
oh
and
yeah,
shifted.
we found some human hearts in there.
Yeah.
They're in the fridge.
There was a shitload of lace and 2 hearts.
But check out what we've done to this truck.
It turns on.
Yeah, just repairing the engine has taken you the better part of 3 days. And the human hearts, you recognize, trauma team. It looks like they are emergency organs for transplant. It looks like they, based on the cases, were officially purchased, like through TT, not taken and put into these boxes. Based on, just packaging and everything.
Quick message to Tark. Can he offload those for me?
Yeah, no problem. I'll swing by, pick them up after I visit with Icarus. Make sure the stint is working good.
Always appreciated.
No problem.
We should get some sick art like airbrushed on the side of this truck.
Oh hell yeah!
I don't know if anybody here is familiar with the movie Ghetto Blaster. But he had a garbage truck that had like side doors that jumped out with AK-47s and like all sorts of goofy stuff. Like if you wanted to go like full Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like minivan, like I'd be fine with that except for garbage truck. That'd be dope.
Once we get this truck like into a fully like functional state, Stryker is planning on making this like his project baby. He's just gonna like whenever he's got spare time, it's like this could use some more guns. Or,
And
like,
you're like,
Yeah.
mentally, I assume like Stryker's thought process is, okay, fine. If you're gonna try and come for my niece, you're gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna have a mobile platform that allows me to protect her, bitch.
exactly.
Fuck Militech.
Just have like a gigantic scoop on the front that just says "Move, bitch."
And then it's just like a goodbye meow meow like little gun.
Oh yeah, no, we're totally putting like a goodbye meow meow on the side of the thing.
For sure. But you would get a call from Anna, and she would explain. I'll slip into it. She says, "Hey, you good to talk?
Yeah, I've got time.
Okay. Just wanted to keep you posted. It seems that our problem has been dealt with. Um, for now. They put him up in Seattle. He's dealing with bigger fish.
That's good to know.
So I'll drop her off at your apartment later this evening, if
All right.
that works out for you. And
Hopefully I can get Zigzag to help deal with it on a more permanent basis before it arises again.
of course. And I think I'm pretty much close to compiling my full dossier. Let Zigzag know when you talk to him. I am interested in hiring him, but not yet. I definitely need a bit more planning. Anyway, I'll see you around 8 o'clock. Sound good?
Sound good. I'll be back at home by then.
All right. That would basically be day 3. You pretty much got the engine pretty much done, and Brighton, the two of you, Stryker and Striga, spend like the last hour or two before like 5ish, drawing like on like a legal pad, like your ideas, like your plans, your thoughts. Striga is not terribly good at technical drawing, so it's much more just like fourth grader drawing at his desk. But Stryker is very much kind of looking at the ideas, taking them and then co-opting them into like his designs, because even though Striga's medium and technique in implementing the ideas is infantile compared to Stryker's, there are ideas that are being put to paper that are good, because Striga is a killer. So it's not just like a guy being drawn with a sword and like blood shooting out of another person. It's very much like, I want a gun here and here's why. But that said, on Zigzag side, you throughout the course of the time there, as you mentioned, you're kind of keeping up with everything, moving the lace. I would say that the main thing for you is that the one person that would be capable of cleaning the lace and making it more suitable for consumption is Tark, but you also know Tark is an addict, recovering addict, and it may not be a good idea to just lump a whole bunch of boxes of black lace in front of him. If you get my meaning.
No, that's not. What about Odette? Can she not?
She's okay at pharmaceuticals, but she's more of a cutter of people than a cutter of drugs. She could, but she wouldn't be the first person you'd look out to try and kind of get that done. Um, Honestly, Odette's probably the one who, whatever Sugar just did, is the one who did that. Um, I would say that you do find some folks that you consider trustworthy that are able to help you kind of make it more suitable for street consumption. And you also have to pay them for the process. With everything that's said and done, after you have taken the lace, cleaned it, and made it more suitable, and then sold it, all in all, you make about 75,000 eddies.
Sounds about right.
75,000 eddies for what? All the lace?
For me.
Oh, nice.
Now, keep in mind, you have to pay the people for the jobs that they did. You have not paid them for the Sunset Hotel job yet. And that's up to you. Obviously, Pepper's out of the cut. And you already paid her by putting her in a columbarium.
Yeah, how much did that cost me?
800 eddies.
Thank you. I'm keeping up with my numbers,
Absolutely fine.
so I'm good.
And the people that you would need to pay for the job on the hotel, Salt's taken
I
care of.
paid Striker half up front, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I owe you.
Bonus time?
That's why I would Striker ask for more.
Let me give you a good rule of thumb for fixers if you want
Right.
to have an understanding. If you feel that this job's earning was the money you just made off the lace, and that's what your capital increase is, if you don't trust somebody, they're worth nothing more than 1/5. If someone's really good for you and is a solid employee, they're worth 35. If the whole group is the person that you trust, taking into account that it's these individuals only, you'd be paying them at a 35% of what you just earned and splitting it amongst them. And then the rest goes towards you funding other jobs. That's capitalism, baby. In a post. Yeah, no, I agree. I hate it, but honestly, if you play Cyberpunk 2077, you actually hear Dexter Deshawn say basically what I just said.
Yeah, I'll give everyone what was it, 35%?
Yeah, so 75,000. I'm doing the math with a calculator. 75, 1, 2, 3 times 0.35 is 26,250. And we have how many operatives here? Icarus, Crystal.
Oh, I can't afford that at all. That's crazy.
Why?
Because 35% would be 26,000 times 7 would be
No,
like
not times 7, divided by.
Oh, I should stop doing shots.
So Icarus, Crystal, Striker, Zigzag, or sorry, you're Zigzag, Sugar, and
Yeah.
Striga. And
Yeah.
you would have had a 6,
Yeah,
but Pepper
yeah.
died, so 5. So each one of them gets paid 26,250 divided by.
Wait, did you count Salt?
Salt got a car.
Oh, right. Salt got a car.
5,250 is what you'd be paying them. And then you'd have about 40 some thousand in capital for paying for other jobs and shit. Also, maintenance on the office, maintenance on or rent for the office, et cetera, et cetera. It sucks being the boss, especially when people know the pay scale.
Also, the regular paycheck for your driver.
Oh yeah, don't forget the regular paycheck for your driver, which comes out of that 46 or 40 something.
So, I'm sorry. How much was it per person? 5,250.
If that's what Zach is agreeing
Yeah.
to pay you, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Zigzag.
if you're
Zigzag's
not Zigzag
dig.
and you're not Calvin, because Calvin didn't do well, I guess Calvin wasn't on this motel job or the hotel
Yeah,
job.
I didn't have anything to do with the hotel job.
So
The fuck? Why isn't this saving my character sheet? I'm gonna have to do some research and some math later on to fix up
The money.
my totals here. But yeah, it's like it's whatever. It's not saving it.
How much are we getting paid?
5,250.
Plus 5,250.
Icarus is sitting on 10 or 11,150. And Icarus during the downtime, even while kind of resting up, is going to start looking for an apartment.
Yeah, Striga's probably gonna go shopping. That over/under shotgun that Striga got off Billy.
Yeah.
Is there anything special about it, or is it just really cool?
It uses shotgun rounds, but it has a rail system built within it, which is known as a power system, which increases its damage output to 6d6 instead of 5d6 when shooting shotgun slugs, not
Nice.
buckshot.
So
Nice.
do you think that Sugar and Quinta can get with the help of their kitty friend in a suit a 3-bedroom apartment?
Yeah, so if you are going in with Icarus on getting a place, Icarus will explain to you, and this is me out of character assuming what Magpie would assume for motivation. He knows that Anika does not have a office or a place to stay anymore. And so while she is in rehab, effectively, with Mickey and the like, he wants to kind of make a place for her to come back to if recovers.
Gotcha.
He's not saying that he wants to do it on his own. If you want a room with him, he's cool with that. He just says, I need to make sure there's at least one extra room.
Well, he would be rooming with us.
Oh, I get you.
Let's make that very clear.
No, yeah, I would assume, based on just kind of what I've gathered from Icarus thus far, he's very kind of focused on making sure that he's making a space for Anika when she comes back.
Okay, so we'll stick with a 2-bedroom then.
Okay. But he says he'll visit.
Yes.
He's like, he probably, because he watches a lot of TV, I assume he says something like, I just don't want to be the John Ritter. You know? Three's Company reference. That's dated as fuck. Dated now.
I don't get it.
know
I
what
saw
that
the show
is.
and I don't even know.
Because, okay, so John Ritter, 2 women,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sugar was just proposing.
So this may not be true, but Sugar
Gotcha.
100,000% assumes that he's gay as hell. So
That's Magpie's decision. I'm not.
I know, but she's just like, yes, girlfriend, slay queen. Like that is
Honestly,
what she thinks is happening.
with what we've
It may
been
not be happening.
With what we've been served, I presume it could be any gradation between gay and not really sure how that works yet, because
Aww.
from somewhere entirely different than Night City,
Aww.
or straight and not exactly sure how that works yet.
Oh, no.
So there's a lot of room for legs to be stretched, but wording was
John.
intentional.
Oh my gosh.
And it could go either way.
You're making Dave blush.
Fair. But yeah, he would want to get his own apartment for that reason, I think. Anywho, Zigzag, as the days kind of pass by, everything gets moved. You're good on that. You would get a call from Anika. Hey, just catching up. I wanted to let you know. Doing okay. I think I just need a couple more days, maybe a week or so, and I should be good. The therapists Mickey's been offering for me to see here are really great. And Crystal's been a doll. You took her away from me for a little bit, but that's fine. I get it. Kind of hard to replace her, yeah? Zach, you there?
We're negotiating.
Sorry.
Did you say we're negotiating?
Yes, we're having a business transaction between an employer and his employee.
100%.
I didn't see it.
No, because it's happening in a private chat between
Yeah,
me and
because,
Dave.
you know, it's
Because
A and
this
B
is a conversation that
conversation.
only he's not in a union. There's no collective bargaining power. We're having a negotiation between an employer and his employee.
How does it feel, Zach?
So gross. I feel like
Oh.
icky, and at the same time, like I get why this gives some people boners.
David's like, I want a raise,
And at the same time,
better benefits.
I get why this gives some people bonus. Oh man, I want that on my gravestone. That's
I get dying.
like no, not related to dying, just related to capitalism. It was one set of capitalism. Anywho, okay, so she calls. She explains that the therapists are great. She'll be back in a week. How are things going on your side? Have you handled all her jobs?
Everything that was pressing.
Cool. Mickey was also really helpful. He had a Netrunner. You're familiar with him, Carbon or whatever. Had him do some digging, and I think I figured out what they did to me. It's pretty crazy stuff. But with the information that Carbon was able to muster, I think I have a lot of stuff I might want to get out in the open, you know? Militech's done some pretty fucked up shit here, and I feel like more people should know about it, you know? What do you think? Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think I'm just lashing out at something? And I really don't have any power to do so, you know? What do you think?
There are ways we can present this information to the public. Let it go into the hands of the people. I'm not opposed.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
I do have ways of accomplishing this if you would like.
Yeah, I know some people who can get the signal out on some things, you know. Caroline Medina probably get that information out pretty quick. But yeah,
There's also a fast communication media teams that I have.
Spotlight.
Yeah, you just think of the exact same thing that I have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just you know,
And of course, if you want anything live streamed.
we'll see. I haven't really thought about it, how I want to proceed with this and with the information that I got.
Of course.
Okay.
Let me know if I can be of any benefit or if you need more information.
Of
There are
course.
those we can work with.
No? Yeah, me and Icarus talked, and so it's good that you've been keeping him pretty well fed. Thanks for that.
He has taken his fair of shots for me. It seems only fair at this point. No.
That's what I've heard. I went ahead and extended my insurance package to him, so hopefully that'll
Merci.
help him out with costs and whatnot. Anyway, I'll be back in a week and I'll see you then, okay?
Oui, oui.
And click. As you're kind of functioning through the rest of the day and it kind of moves into the next day, you're checking the scream sheets and you notice that The body lottery for yesterday was exceptionally high. Like in the 90s. Like, if you're not familiar with this concept, in Night City, there's a running lottery every day, and you basically put down a number,
Hmm.
one to, or zero rather, I guess is an option, but 0 to the sky's the limit. And if that many people died in Night City, your number is what's chosen, you win the lottery. So you basically bet on how bad the day is going to be. That being said, in the 90s, pretty high for a single day. But you kind of notice that most of the deaths, according to the scream sheet, were in the Santo Domingo area. Do you take any closer looks at that or no?
Are there any? Yeah, is there any other information? Can I like just do a quick news search or just like
Yeah.
even if there's like social media beats from that area?
Gang violence erupts near Mega Building 07, 6th Street gang, with a small time gang known as the Cleavers, a poser gang, it's explained. And you kind of do some thinking in your head, and you know that the Cleavers are a very small time gang that are Leave It to Beaver fans, and they basically try to make themselves look like members of the cast from that show.
Oh God, it's 1950s chic.
Poser gangs are weird.
Gross.
Uh, some can be gross, I guess. Some can be weird, but apparently, the Cleavers were all but wiped out. And yeah, according to documents, one of the people who was killed in the fight, the only person of note, was the individual known as General Rick Morton.
Fuck me.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No!
And according to the news document that you're kind of looking over here, it states that it doesn't, according to the document, it was not the case that he was killed by the Cleavers. Instead, there are conflicting reports that state he was killed by Pablo Silva, who is another 6th Street gang member, and apparently his most loyal ally.
It was a coup.
Yeah, and the area around 6th Street, according to the scream sheet, has been marked as a combat zone as fighting continued throughout the night within the 6th Street gang. So they're killing their own.
Oh shit. Is this before or after they took care of the bad lace problem?
This is a few days after that, so it's presumed that they handled their business.
Okay.
But just to kind of put into context what this means for the game, I'm going to put it on the map now. But I do want to make sure you understand that the conflict happened south of 7th.
Oh,
But now this entire area that's drawn in red in Santo Domingo is what is known as a combat zone.
Oh, what fun.
So basically going into that area means very risky shit. Guns blazing all the time. There are combat zones that you've been in already, like Center City, pretty notorious combat zone. The west side of South Night City, also pretty fucked up between the Joe Boys and Red Circles. But this does sound like it's fresh, so it's probably going to be a bit more hot than stuff that was going on in South Night City.
I am going to just try and send a message to the burner phone to see if Nick still has it from setting up the meeting. It's just a simple, You
Hey,
still got it on?
can we meet up?
Where?
Name a place. I'll get there.
Outside of Santo Domingo?
I don't give a shit.
It's a ramen restaurant.
Okay.
And I send him the address.
All right. You head over to the ramen restaurant.
Would you like to take some backup with you?
Where is Striga during like outside
With
of this?
Stryker, still working on the
Yeah.
vehicle because it's day 4, so they've got the engine fixed. They're starting to do the cutting so that they can put in whatever. And again, I'm assuming Chris and Chad, for the sake of posterity, will at some point kind of either send me a picture of something they found online, or maybe do like a very quick sketch of some sort of a garbage truck.
Sure, let me write that down, and I'll do that before next week.
Well, yeah. Again, the way things are going, I don't know. We'll see if it'll be before next series. So you have some time to kind of
Yeah.
conceptualize what this thing does.
Yeah.
But they are very much working on the early
So-
process of putting it together.
So basically, Zigzag would get Calvin in the AV and send a message to like a group chat with Stryker and Striga. Both of their agents get the same message.
And
Hungry?
Icarus.
Question mark. Is Icarus working on the vehicle too?
Yeah, well, no, not working on the vehicle, but you
That's
know
why
that.
I'm just sending it to the two
Okay.
of them because I'm just going by the garage to pick the two of them up if they're
Got it,
hungry.
got it.
Because I want a couple of extra hands, like one solo, one tech, one nomad seems like enough to meet with one
Got it, got
person
it.
from 6th Street. So the two of them get a message, hungry, question mark.
Do we suspect that's like code for something?
That means
Uh,
Zigzag's offering to bring you to lunch because he has,
Okay.
that's like normally what he says.
Stryker,
like-
Stryker does turn to Striga, and he's like, "I'm gonna wait. Do we see that it's a group text?"
Yeah, both of you would get, it's like, it's the two of you because I don't know which one of you is going to be looking at your phone and which one has your
Gotcha.
head in the fucking truck.
Gotcha.
And I need one of you to look at your phone because I
Well-
don't think you have. Either of you have an internal?
No.
Right. That's why I send it in the group because one of you has to hear the notification. I don't want to like
Sure.
show up without
Gotcha.
you having seen.
Right. Like Striga looks at their agent and then just like shrugs and says to Stryker, "I could eat."
Well, I'm gonna assume he's not just asking us out for a date, but it is dinner time.
Okay. You head on over to pick them up. Hop in the AV4. Do you prompt them in any way?
I'll brief him briefly that we're going to meet the kid that we kidnapped
Nick.
from the 6th Street gang, Nick. I don't know if they know him as Nick.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we caught a name. But I'm assuming you would have elaborated that, hey, this was like the kid that was in the truck.
That got me the burner phone, or that I gave the burner phone to, and who hooked us up with the general, because you all would know about that meeting.
Right. Striga seems surprised that the kid is still alive.
You get out to the ramen restaurant. It doesn't look like he's there yet. You head inside. You see Soda behind the counter with a couple of people helping there. And he kind of looks over at you, gives you a nod, and kind of goes to stir the noodles as looks like a new person that he's hired in comes over to take your order. You hear the loud roar of a motorcycle outside. You see a kind of army green bike kind of pull up, and Nick gets off of the bike. Looks like he is wearing the exact same thing he was wearing the last time you saw him. And he walks in. Very paranoid looking. Suga, you can definitely see that he is shaken. It's not something you are unfamiliar with. In fact, you see it in your victims a lot. It definitely looks like he has seen combat, possibly very recently. And he walks in and sees you, and then kind of like almost as if like weights are just thrown off of his body, kind of just moves over to the table and sits with you, setting the burner phone down in front of him and says, "Hey man, Do you got anywhere that I can just, hang or fucking anything, man?
Are you?
You don't owe me shit. Like, you don't owe me shit. And I appreciate you, meeting with me here and all, but I need to stay the fuck out of Santo Domingo.
I have heard there's quite the commotion in that area. No,
Yeah, it's not what it seems, but yeah.
would you like to perhaps clarify this statement?
Will Gunner fucking had Rick Morton's head blown off and is putting on Pablo. And the whole fucking gang's a goddamn mess.
Sorry, who is this? Did you say Gunnar?
Yeah, Will. Yeah, he's well, he was good friends with Billy before she went. But yeah, Will, he's kind of a hard ass, real dickhead. I mean, not saying that Rick wasn't a hard ass, but you at least knew he meant well by it, right? But fuck Will, and it was Will. Like, there's no way Pablo had anything to do with that shit. He didn't have a chance.
That is not the stories they are telling. So
Yeah, no, I know. I know. Everybody's been telling me the same thing for the last 2 days.
is this Pablo? He still has people with him? Has it split you, or is it all?
Look, to be honest, I've been laying low in alleyways and, fighting hobos to get, like, what meals I can for the last couple. Okay? Shit's wild. I know the news probably hasn't reported on it yet, and if they have, it's not super, like, new, because that shit happened a couple days ago. Like,
Strigo walks past the table and kind of slides their bowl of ramen over to the kid as they proceed to walk over to the door, and they stand just outside and sort of just keep an eye on the street.
without even like, there's kind of like a look of like thanks, but like it's immediate, just going in on that ramen, like mouthful of noodles and broth, like looking at Zigzag as he's consuming.
He like will call to the server to offer if you would you like perhaps another? He says to Nick.
Oh, this is good. This is good. This is a lot. And you know that soda packs the bowls. Like, it's mostly noodle and, like, a perfect amount of broth. The hard boiled, or the not quite hard boiled egg, soft boiled. It's not, I don't know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then the pork belly was in there because Stringer probably ordered it with such. Yeah, it looks like he is just going to town, but it's a pretty decent sized bowl. He's not going to finish it anytime soon.
Okay, then I'll just let him. Please continue, and I'll the bike. Where did that? Did you acquire that from somewhere?
Oh, that he
Someone?
kind of turns his head to the side, and it kind of gives you a vantage of the side of him, like the right side of him that you didn't have before. Striker, because you're sitting on the opposite side of him, you would have noticed. There's a lot of blood on his body, like on his clothing. And it looks like it's mostly around the right arm. It doesn't look like it's his.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, somebody didn't want it anymore.
Seems like you are quite the convincing one. He smiles.
I can be pretty convincing when I need to be, he says, and you can see his hand kind of drop to his belt, and you can hear a tap tap, and then he kind of puts his hand back on the bowl.
Have you checked it, or would you like someone to clean it for you?
I don't care, man.
He's gonna then Zigzag while he's like, I don't care, man. Looks straight at Striker and says, like, can you get the bike back? Like, with a look, Striker, that bike is your job now, please.
He just Striker just stands up and walks out to take care of it then.
Yeah, you can take it right back to the grind. I'm assuming like
Striga's still standing at the door, kind of watching. In the process, nothing seems to be following. It doesn't seem like there's any. kind of change of pace. You see Soda come out with another bowl, and set it on the table, not having been asked for it, but still seeing that food has been passed between parties, is now putting a new fresh bowl out there where Striga was sitting. And then he looks down at Striker's bowl, which is probably like, maybe a third of the way gone, halfway gone. He says, "To go?"
Oh, please, the usual, please,
Okay.
if you would.
Okay. And he kind of walks back. And again, I'm not going to do the accent because I feel like me doing the accent is racist, but to make sure you understand, he is doing the accent.
Yeah.
Zigzag, I want you to make a human perception roll that you technically have had before, but you would also, in this kind of more aware state, might be able to catch it.
14.
Yeah, there's something endearing about it. Like, it just seems like just quaint. Like, he seems like a very kindly old guy who's just running a business, and he's just very nice. Out of character, you don't catch on to the secret. He's got a
It's like
secret.
this close to saying I haven't used any luck, but now you're good.
Should
Yeah,
have said it before you rolled the dice.
I know. Yeah, no, I imagine he, if anything, like Zigzag is starting to learn it a bit for his own folk quarter.
Out of character, please don't use it either.
I won't.
Say you're doing it, but
If so,
It's
I'm
strange.
assuming Stryker heads outside and then, kind of explains the situation to Striga, and then hops on the motorcycle and drives away.
yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before leaving,
I would before I drive away, I would ask Striga, ask them have you noticed anything in the area?
No, nothing out here. But if you run into trouble on the way back, call me right away.
I'll let you know. I'm headed back to the garage.
All right, I'm heading back inside. I'm still hungry.
Sit down at the fresh bowl and also
Yeah.
the strikers remnants, which is still a hearty enough meal, especially in Night City. Calvin, you're sitting there just eating the whole time, right? Okay, you're muted, but I got the yes.
Yeah, Striga does that thing where it's only the bottom part of their face, and they're just shoveling noodles into their mouth.
What are you doing, David? What are you doing?
There I am.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out where I muted myself.
Which one of these
So many
5
layers.
options did I click mute on?
Nick says, "Look, I can handle myself.
No, finish your foods. We will take whatever's left to go, and you're coming back to the office with
He
us.
he
There's
says
a
that,
couch for
and
you.
Striga kind of almost because of how bad he performed in the truck when you stormed it. But then he kind of goes, okay, and he starts kind of eating. Striga, you've had some time to kind of survey him, and you would note that he does have a pistol at his belt. It looks like it is a kind of decent enough, very heavy handgun. Nothing great, but a pretty decent sized heater. Based on the blood staining on his arm and on his shirt, you're pretty sure that he shot somebody point blank and it just spattered up the arm, over his body. Based on what you overheard, your presumption is that's how he acquired the bike.
Yeah, and this just happened
Not
that's
that
how he
long
got a
ago.
ride here. Yeah.
And based on the look of the bike before it left, you're pretty sure it was a 6th Street Gangers before it was his. Although I guess
Yes.
technically it's still kind of that, but you know what I mean.
Striga will just nonchalantly reach over and just very gently wipe a finger on the cuff of his shirt or something.
Still wet.
Yep.
It's
Does
got
one
that.
of these.
It's got that air dried feel. There's definitely He kind
Where
of
it's
gives.
not wet, it's sticky.
Yeah, that's it. He kind of gives you a look confused, but continues getting back into the ramen. As he's finishing up that bowl, Zigzag, is there anything that you kind of want to lead off with in this conversation? Or do you want him to go back to trying to explain himself or try and ingratiate himself with you?
am more concerned with having him finish his food, and then I was
You-
gonna just take him straight back to the apartment to sleep, and then we're gonna talk after he's gotten, because he does not look good, and I don't trust anything he says in this state right now. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
dude who's strung out, who hasn't slept in 3 days, who's been fighting on the streets, is no good to me. Like, let's get back to the apartment. There's a couch. Striga's with me. I've got like Calvin
Sugar.
in the back. Like, we're fine.
Sugar, do me a favor and roll me a. I know what I want you to roll, but I forget what it's called. Hold on a sec. Lots of skills in Cyberpunk, by the way. Let's see. Skills. And I'm looking for.
There are a lot of skills.
A
in Cyberpunk.
magical history check.
Make a trading roll. It's under social.
Oh. Okay, one sec.
Arcane diplomacy.
Okay, I rolled arcane diplomacy.
All right. So you actually have an apartment lined up, and you could have already moved into it by now if you wanted to. Do you want to be in a different location, or do you want to be like in the process of moving out of? Because you were moving out of your situation, right? Or were you staying where you were?
Well, I think like Quinta and Sugar were probably rooming in some like little shithole
Yes.
in a mega building, and so now they're trying to get into a little bit of a safer
With that
place.
trading roll, I would say you could probably be in an apartment that's right across the street from, or in the same building as Zigzag's office.
Cool.
Oh.
I know
Huge.
Zigzag will love that having.
So you would be very aware of his comings and his goings when he uses the AV, and you would know that he is returning from some trip he left very quickly on.
Okay.
Does Sugar let Zigzag know you're moving into the building before?
Yeah, of course.
Like, oh yeah. Then as soon as we're in the AV on our way back, Zigzag sends a message to Sugar that like we'll be back in like 8 minutes. Meet me in my office, because I want her to start doing some digging on like the like different social media apps and things, and see if she can find back channels to what's like really happening with the Sixth Street Gang. Do
Okay.
some net running for me.
Okay.
But I want to meet you in my office like while Nick sleeps. We'll talk.
Cool.
But yeah, you'll get a text if you're in my apartment like building. Just come down a few floors. Like press the elevator button, Sugar, please. Is that okay?
Sugar sends back like an emoji of like a little cat like rolling its eyes like ugh.
You guys, I'm not even kidding here. I was like, you know what? I need a name of a combat zone reporter, like a news anchory type. I need a news anchor name generator. Like, there's no fucking way
100% there
that
is one,
exists
right?
There
on
is.
the
Yeah.
internet.
Absolutely.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, Ron Burgundy. Okay,
What the fuck?
yeah, that's the thing that exists.
Thank God.
But you get down there after doing some kind of quick like scanning on it, Sugar, based on what he said. You kind of assume it has to do with the news that what's going on in Santo Domingo. You
Yeah.
know that there's a combat zone reporter in the area named Donovan Callow, who is on the ground in the combat zone and has been doing some intense reporting. Most of his papers, his scream sheet articles
Coverage.
have been articles was the word I was looking for and scanning for and finally got. They basically relate to the ins and outs of what has happened and what is happening on the ground there. And it seems like it's a lot of Sixth Street gangs and a lot of minor gangs in the area that are basically coming to blows because Sixth Street is basically losing its shit. The only reason that it started to get coverage is because of the Cleavers being wiped out. The Cleavers are a poser gang in Santo Domingo, but they're well liked by the media because they go and they do like pleasant shit for people, while also being a hardcore gang that fights. But they've been entirely wiped out. Like they're gone. They don't exist anymore.
So that's like a little genocide there.
It's gangicide, I guess. I don't know
Gangicide.
if there's a term for
Just a little genocide.
no. So it's not. I guess it is. Yeah, it's technically
you-
genocide.
Do subcultures count
I don't.
for
I don't.
genocides? Can you genocide a subculture?
100%.
I think so,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I think if you like just
Yeah.
wipe out any large group,
100%.
it's
Well, they're not
genocide.
even a large
Yeah.
group. They're specifically a minority. Like that's like how
That's-
they're
yeah, that's-
defined
It's-
in
so
the
I
area.
just googled the definition of genocide. It is genocide.
Yeah,
for,
it's
for
gen-
definitional
it's-
purposes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
like
seems-
I would think that there was like this like war also within the media where like the more like kind of rabble rouser muckraker media is calling it a genocide, and then like the corporate media is like trying to call it something else, like
Yeah, they're probably
A
just trying
police
to.
action.
conflict.
Yeah, the very.
It's a street conflict.
it's-
It's not a genocide, Sandra.
Honestly,
Right.
if you get into a fight with a larger body, that body beats you down. You don't go.
That's
trying
battle.
Yeah, that's battle.
That's battle.
That's battle.
Gijo,
That's battle.
gain inspiration for the D&D game I'll be running. Not the one that you're in already, but the other one.
Oh man.
Hilarious. But yeah, no, absolutely, completely wiped them out.
Yeah.
So Sugar is like her weirdly, mechanized eyes are like, and she's just like loading up like rows of data for Zigzag to review
Yeah.
about the conflict.
Yeah. I imagine it's just like screenshots of the specific like paragraphs that he needs to read that like I don't need whole articles. It's just like here's the 45 paragraphs that are like most important and tells a whole complete story. It's like, oh.
What you get is that Pablo Silva,
Yeah.
Will Gunner, and currently no leadership has come forward. But there are three factions. Will Gunner's faction is very much of the mentality, according to the reports that you've been seeing, that Pablo Silva was the one that killed Rick, and the reason why he did it was because Rick was not lining up with corporations and getting the big money into Santo Domingo. Not allowing it to happen. It's still very suburban kind of area. Will Gunner is mad at Pablo Silva for killing Rick, and is basically I am trying to exact justice. And the third cell of the 6th Street gang that's kind of
Wait.
in their own right. But
The first one was Will Gunner, who believes that Pablo killed.
Sorry. Will
So
Gunner,
the second group is
Pablo Silva's group.
Pablo Silva's group. Just making sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I did loop it around right back to the same one I was explaining. Thank you for catching me on my not having.
I just wanted to. I
Perfect.
Yep. Pablo Silva.
The third group,
Yep.
who has no leadership, is people who do not believe Will Gunner and do not think he should be the leader, and also don't like Pablo Silva. And from what you're gathering from the reports from Hallow, is that that third group, the one without leadership, are the ones who wipe the Cleavers out. They are literally just going crazy and taking as much territory as they can in Santo Domingo and causing the problem to spill out of 6th Street territory. That's the current paradigm.
Has it spilled out of Santo Domingo?
No.
Just as well, I mean, I know they're fucking watching, but wait, they are. Well, okay, anyway. So I would prepare like a dossier of all this information directly to I mean, to the cat with the business suit on.
Was that a slip?
No.
Don't worry about it.
Uh, and just to keep them in the loop of like what we're kind of looking at.
Okay. Got you. Sorry, thinking. Everybody kind of gets to the office, and regroups. Um, Nick says, you want me to sleep?
There is a bedroom in there if you'd like, but you do have to check the guns with the doorman. And he points to Stricker.
Passes over his pistol.
Please make yourself comfortable. Would you like a cup of tea, perhaps a bit of biscuit? No?
Sugar, you've been around many a piece. The weapon that was just placed into your hand is as I said, a very heavy handgun. It's an older weapon, definitely an older piece. It very much looks like it was recently discharged, and the reason why you're aware of that is it doesn't look like the gun has been rechambered correctly. So when the slide was pulled back with caseless ammunition, basically the charge is discharged from the weapon, and then the next caseless piece is slotted into position. For what it looks like, it looks like it jammed. So if he was going to try and shoot it again,
Would've been
Nothing would have
messy.
happened.
it would have misfired. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Striga just immediately like clears that jam and then puts the gun away.
Yeah, it looked like it was a Nova Arms city gun, I think. The 338 city gun. It's a cute little gun.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Chad. I can see you typing on your glasses and it was distracting me.
That's awesome.
That's weird.
I need to get that.
Oh, that's weird.
It's like those tiny hands.
So great. I need that. Hold on.
Oh man, that is so
Wait.
uncomfortable.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to like zoom in so you can see yourself in my glasses?
No.
It's a bit too much.
Look at me. I can do it too.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh god.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no!
Oh no, hold on.
Oh.
Almost.
Oh god.
He's looking
Oh.
so hard to
Man.
see his reflection from
Not
his
me, I
5
wanna see-
monitors.
Well, let's see what she show. Like, oh yeah. Anywho, the other ones are easier to see through. He goes and lays down. Yeah, he is, as you stated, drained.
Yeah.
And has no issue going right to sleep.
That's what I figured.
But you have Sugar, Calvin, Stryker, Striga, and yourself here in the office.
Striga will stash the handgun inside the truck.
Well, the
dump
truck,
truck.
the dump truck's in the garage, which is a ways away.
Oh.
You're at the
Oh,
office.
okay. Sorry. Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
And Striker, you would have taken the bike there. It's clean, and then you would have gone to the office to report to Zigzag.
Okay.
So you're all there. However you'd like to proceed.
Well, like,
We didn't like have anything to do with this, did we?
we kind of solved we kind of accomplished our goal of getting the dirty lace off the streets, and yeah, our next we're kind of just left with the kid.
Oh, I think you are thinking so small, no?
So what's
This
your
is an
plan with the kid?
opportunity.
Yeah, Zigzag
Zip.
either wants to take over the 6th Street territory or he wants to take over the 6th Street gang.
At the very
If
least,
we-
we could ingratiate ourselves with the winning party. No,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sort of pick a side and then offer to help disrupt operations for the other faction, or
Wait, is Calvin fully in the know of what we just covered lore wise with the Six String Gang like losing Rick and the 3 factions?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's up to speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Calvin would be like, if we can get like the Gibsons would love to get some strong people like the Sixth Street Gang can offer into the family. So if we can politically pull them in as a subfamily, the Gibsons would love that. You
Is
can
that-
win? Like there is a win-win where you end up even higher up than what opportunity you have in front of you right now
So what, you want to put some job offers from the Gibson family like out on the street?
to the Sixth Street
See if,
Gang.
and see if any of the heavy hitters come out looking for a new job.
But
we're gonna
which
need to
one?
settle this conflict before we can put any fucking name like shit out there.
Like this is a moment of chaos. Like if we could, because Calvin is still about bringing respect to his family and pulling their name out from the mud. So Calvin's like, if we can instill like the Gibson name as a way of bringing cohesion to the Sixth Street Gang, they win because they have structure again. You win because you now are the savior of the Sixth Street Gang, and then the Gibsons win because they get a bigger family.
Well, you've got one group that
Do-
is kind of a genocider. You've got another group that wants to suck up to the corpos. That only leaves you with one option, unless you're good with the genociders. I mean, that's
You can sort those out. we can send those guys out for street work. We don't let them have power.
so then it's between Silva and Gunner.
Right. But
So
the
which side do
third
we wanna pick?
faction- It sucks because like the third faction doesn't have any actual like leadership, so it's not like you can really like reach out to them. So I'm wondering if I guess
That's
like
the part that sucks, not the part where they're genociders.
yeah. Well, so wait, it is. It's like the leaderless faction. It's like the genociders. But the thing
Please,
is, you
they
can't
are the
really
ones
like
that killed
you can't,
everybody.
yeah,
That's
but you
just,
can't like
the
put
understanding.
you can't put a face on that. You can't like you
No,
can't tell
there's
that.
lots of faces. That's just the problem. There's a
Well, I
whole
mean-
bunch of faces.
Like you can't just look at a Sixth Street ganger and be like, oh yeah, he's with the genociding faction.
Quick note, I just want to make sure I throw this monkey wrench right into the works here. The kid did say that Will Gunner was the one who killed Rick.
Right.
Right.
So Will
It is-
Gunner is probably not very trustworthy.
And is blaming it on Pablo.
Wait,
Right. So Pablo, if you want to approach somebody for any sort of like alliance or like leverage or anything like that, Pablo would probably be the one to reach out to.
wait. So out of
Calvin
character. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
wants all of the people that worked for Rick in the Gibson family.
I like that.
Okay, so out of character, Will Gunner, according to Nick, killed Rick.
Had Rick killed, yeah.
Had Rick killed. For
Yeah.
what?
Blamed it on
For-
Pablo.
Because Rick was anti-Billy and they were very close to Billy.
No, sorry. Pablo was anti-corpo, not
Hold on.
anti. They're right.
Yeah, but now
Incorrect.
no, Zach. Hold on.
Oh wait, no. I thought Rick was anti-corpo.
Clarification
no,
time.
no.
Let's focus on what we know, okay? So, first things first, Nick's account. Nick was in the combat zone. Shit's hot down there. He said, in a panic state, Will Gunner did it. Will Gunner had Rick Morton killed.
Right.
Shit's fucked up, and he blames it on Pablo. That's what you got from him. Then, what you got from the news right before that call, because remember, you texted him,
Right.
was that, according to the news, Pablo Silva, Rick Morton's lieutenant, killed Rick Morton to try and take over the 6th Street gang, and war has broken out over the last few days.
Mhm.
So while you were living your comfy lives in Japantown, shit was going crazy in Santo Domingo.
Right.
Is there anything in the news that corroborates
According
Nick's
to what you have been able to
perspective?
find on the the networks,
Yeah.
there are 3 factions, according to the news reporter on the ground, Cal.
Okay.
Faction 1 is the one that's getting the most actual news documentation outside of what Cal is reporting is pushing. And that's because they are a leaderless group of individuals who are trying to move their territory out as far as they can from their normal territory in Santo Domingo, possibly further afield. The only conflict that they've had was with the Cleavers, who are south of the Mega Building 7. And the Cleavers were all wiped out by the very much larger force of the 6th Street faction, the sub-faction. Let me put this in perspective numerically. The Cleavers had about 100 members. The 6th Street gang had about 400 members. Just that sub-faction. 6th Street is very big. That's why it was very hard for Rick to keep track of all of the people trying to do their own business. People,
It's
according
more
to
like a gang with franchises, like
yeah,
Crips or Bloods.
yeah. They kind of have
Because
their
at a
own
certain
individual
point, they start
cells.
franchising out with different
Correct.
leaders that own their own cells.
Same name, but
So
some
long
people.
as they keep paying taxes, you really don't check in on the
Some people are into
like,
drugs, even
details.
though the core of it is not
Yeah.
for drugs. Some people are into human trafficking, which is something 6th Street is known for, but it's not, according to what Rick had said. But there's so many 6th Street gangs. Like, you
Yeah.
hear bad things about 6th Street, and it's probably true, but it's probably not true of the whole. Does that make sense? And plus, the aesthetic is very patriotic because they're they're veterans, so
Yeah.
obviously it's very easy for you to kind of they're assholes, and most of them are, to be fair.
Ew.
And then that is one faction. Second faction are people who are under Pablo and are siding with Pablo. The only piece of documentation you have regarding that faction is no one has seen Pablo. They are following him, according to what the reporter could gather, but he can't get a meeting with him. He can't get an understanding of if he's existing, and nobody that he's talked to on like a trustworthy level has said that he's even around.
Yeah, he's probably laying low because Will just painted
Right.
a huge fucking target on his back.
Will Gunner is basically the one who is very vocal and very noticed by everyone else, and he's pointing out that Pablo's the one that did it. Pablo killed Rick. He's also saying that Pablo is trying to saddle up with corporations, specifically Danger Girl, to get money into Santo Domingo and create a better environment for 6th Street to flourish. Because right now it's just a bunch of suburbs.
So what is Will pro Pablo?
Will is
No.
anti-Pablo and is, according to what you can gather, very much the spiritual successor of Rick Morton.
Okay,
At least that is the public-facing
right. That's his
perception.
that's his platform.
Yes, that is his platform.
But those in the know are like, no, he's like very much.
According to Nick, who, again, like I said that Will Gunner had Pablo framed for the hit he put out on Rick. Rick was killed at Will Gunner's order, and Pablo was framed for it.
Quick out of character. Well, I don't know. It's all out of character at this point, but it's
Yeah.
like Danger Girl is secretly Arasaka, right?
Danger Girl is a private security firm that operates in Night City only that you would know is connected to Arasaka.
Does everyone kind of like know that?
It's
Pretty much.
it's kind of an optic
Open secret.
yeah, it's mainly the person who is. Let me make sure I get the name right. I'm okay at Japanese names if I'm reading them. Memorizing them is a problem for me. It is a detective and private security firm, bodyguards, investigation, security. Michiko Arasaka is the person who started the company. They typically wear tactical outfits when kind of front facing, but when they are doing like ops or investigatory work, they wear cat outfits, like Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
Catwoman.
Yes, slay.
I just imagine like a bunch of
What?
fucking
Not nyan like
Just a bunch of
Batgirl
like
outfits.
fucking
Like,
decked out furries
I mean,
like
even
kick
in
down the
cat
door
suit.
and like start fucking laying you out.
no, they're not like they don't have like the furry paws with like the cute little cat paws.
They break into your home to kill you, and they just
cat
all go,
ears.
yeah.
Like, nyan. Nyan. No.
Death with a smile. Satisfaction
Death.
guaranteed.
You're
Death
fucking
from
in bed, and then
cringe.
you see some like silhouettes of people like this, and then you know that you're dead.
Michiko Arasaka is Kai Arasaka's daughter. And if you don't know who Kai Arasaka is, he is the first son of Saburo Arasaka.
Do they have emperors? Yeah.
Well, Arasaka he's called Saburo Arasaka is called the emperor. He's not actually an emperor.
Oh, okay.
He is the head of Arasaka Corporation.
Okay.
Poser.
Kai Arasaka was acting CEO for Arasaka between 1997 and 2023, and yeah, his half sister's Hanako. These should all be names familiar to people who played Cyberpunk 2077. He died in 2023 because he was in the building.
So I think Sugar has taken a very passive role throughout all of these adventures in Night City, working with the Zigzag crew. But at this point, she would be a little bit more like pushing towards like learning more about what's happened to Pablo Silva
Okay.
and running some kind of investigation on that if anyone's interested.
Thoughts?
I think I'm behind that.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I have no issue with it.
Cool. Let me just shift the music here. There we go. Okay, so he sleeps. Nick sleeps. Go ahead. So Nick sleeps. You all sleep and awake the next morning. Your plan is to go into the combat zone and try and investigate what has happened to Pablo Silva. Is that accurate?
That sounds like the way to do it, but I wish we were doing it with an armored garbage truck.
It's not completely. It's just a garbage truck right now.
You could take some time and continue doing the repairs on it. You do not have to rush in.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I don't know.
how many days are we talking for truck repairs?
So here's my I'm going to put this out on the table here. I just want to make sure you understand process-wise where I'm at. This can go one of two ways. We can narratively work out what happens with Nick, discuss what we want to do in going into a combat zone, and discuss lightly the prep that's required for that to happen. But if that's the case, time is going to pass and fundamental things are going to change, disrupting the narrative to a point where I feel like this would be a next series.
So we don't have enough time to outfit the truck.
No. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. If pacing is what you want to do, I'm fine with that. But it will be a narrative change. There will be a shift in the series, and we'll discuss what we do with that afterwards.
Yeah, I think this is definitely worth discussing.
Okay. And that's fine. Or you could just willy-nilly go into there. And then I can muster up a session of, very...
That is like way too much risk for Zigzag, and he will not go in there. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
like
And he wouldn't send anybody in either.
if someone was insistent on charging in there, if someone wanted to take the motorcycle, he's not gonna stop him because
Okay.
it ain't. But I don't think it's worth sending in a crew and on my dollar to get
Okay.
shot up right now if we don't have a ton of armor. If we want to throw in a drone or something,
With a gang of talented people.
That wouldn't work either.
but that won't work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not worth pursuing this right now. Shit's too hot and we're not ready.
The thing you would immediately get the next morning and understand the next morning, this would be for Calvin and for Zigzag, is that AV traffic is barred from going that direction. So your new proximity, you can't go over the junkyard either. So a lot of traffic south is now fluctuated over, Pacifica.
It's a wombo combo.
So
Is that a Militech?
Hmm?
Sorry, is the place that's a battle zone right now, is that also Militech surveyed, or why is AV travel?
Oh, because you don't fly over places where people might have rocket propelled grenades.
All right, fair. I thought it was legit just locked down.
No.
Like over the junkyard.
So most people understand, and most people in Night City understand that if you shoot something out of the sky, it's going to fall on you. But most people who are in a combat zone realize that if you shoot something out of the sky, it and everything in it is going to fall on you. See how that's different? So
fair.
Yeah. If you care about what you're in, building wise, you probably don't want an AV falling through your roof. If you don't give a shit, about the immediate surroundings, then it's profitable.
All right, then Chad.
Yeah, I was just I think recon and intelligence gathering is probably the best course of action right now. Is trying to get more information it's as opposed to just running blindly into a combat zone.
Okay. So then obviously we are going to kind of shift into a series shift. I do want to handle the last part of it though. We have Nick in the morning with all the information that you gleaned. Nick wakes up pretty well rested. Looks like he slept for a good 10 hours. And if you have food on offer, he is asking for it.
100%. Yeah.
And he starts eating again. And he kind of jokingly smiles, still wearing the bloody clothes he was wearing the night before. He kind of looks over at you and says, it seems like every time we've come to meet Mr. Zigzag, it's you offering me stuff and asking me questions. I'm guessing that's what this is gonna be.
Are there any jumpsuits in the truck?
Yeah, there would have been one. If you want to pass him one, he'll change into it.
Yeah, Striga would have put this on.
Okay.
You are an astute individual, mon ami.
I don't think I'd be here if I wasn't as perceptive as I was.
So
kid, you could go far.
I hope to. Far the fuck away from Night City. But, it's hard out here. That bike checkout? Was
Turns
that
to Striker.
did that bike check out? He looks at you and asks that trigger.
Yeah, bike's all fine.
If I can get a couple of tanks of chew, I can just ride it on north. I've got some friends up in Santa Cruz.
So you think you are done in Night City?
Fuck this place, man.
You are so quick to quit. That is not what I pegged you for when we met the first time.
I didn't think I was ever going to see someone die that close, you know? I always had a good idea of how far I wanted to keep that shit away from me, but like,
Thanks.
and as he's talking, Chad, Striga's just like, yep, like completely understanding of what he's saying. He says, you can see them fall apart right in front of you. And you realize in that moment there isn't much different between that person and you. The only difference is the way the gun's pointed and who's pulling the trigger.
When all is said and done, you're still alive.
Today. What about tomorrow? Hell, what about later today? Fucking Night City the way it is.
Striga just shrugs and says, "That's the nature of the game."
I don't like the game. I don't want to play anymore. I came out here to make some money for my family back east. Didn't work out. Double didn't work out. I trusted the wrong people. Shit got fucked up. Now I realize what I want to do is get out of Night City, then find enough of a way or a means of getting me back to Indiana. That's it.
Fucking Indiana.
Do you say that?
Yeah, Striga just says fucking Indiana.
Yeah, I get it. It's a hellhole. Okay. After they
Back home again in Indiana.
my dad used to always say, man, after, you know, what happened with Chicago, it's not a great place to be. You know, you drop a metal rod from space onto a city and you know, cause a huge displacement of people. It's bound to fuck up the surrounding cities. I get it. But, you know, I'll be honest. Small little town that I came from, it wasn't this bad. Sure, we had, you know, raiders coming in every so often, but we could hold our own. And the killing was over there. The dying was over there.
Over there in what? Gary?
Oh no, I'm not Gary. God, fuck. Holy shit. There's one place that's worse than Night City.
Gary, Indiana in 2022.
Or 2025. I don't know, man. I don't know. Scary Gary. I don't know much about Gary, Indiana. I just know about its reputation. And
That Michael Jackson was born there.
oh, that's true. I mean, I guess it's got that going for it.
It's great. It's a great association to have. in
I know people who
2022.
used to live in Gary, Indiana, and they say about 90% of what you've heard is probably true.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anywho,
That
he just
90% is the Music Man, but
names off a random town. I don't know, man. He just names off a random town. Pick one. I don't care. Middletown. He's from Middletown.
Fucking Middletown.
Fucking Middletown.
Fucking.
But anywho, he says it was all the way over there, and it wasn't as real. I could disassociate. I didn't have to think about it too hard. You know the worst part? I slept like a fucking baby last night. Steve did.
Who is Steve?
Who was Steve?
Is that Steve's motorcycle?
Not anymore.
You're learning quick.
I don't like it.
It's a painful thing to realize you've gotten used to it.
I don't think I ever will. And that's why I gotta get the fuck out of here. They said that Night City was the city of dreams. And I realized, fuck that, it's the city of nightmares. And I'm sure mine will catch up with me. But not last night. Probably not for the rest of the day. But I'm smart enough to know what's fucked up and what's not. And what I did to him was fucked up. What
See
he
your
would've-
friends.
What he would have done to me was probably worse. But he brought a knife to a gunfight. And I took his motorcycle. So. Yeah, he was kind of a friend. Nice enough, I guess. Anywho, if you need anything from me before I get the hell out of here, let me know.
Well, would you happen to know Pablo's associates or
Fuck, man.
friends?
Um,
People he trusted, people that were loyal to him.
you see him kind of like shaking his head, thinking about it. He's like, Pablo was pretty close with Rick. I do know he had contacts with Danger Girl. His wife, Salma. She was pretty close. He had some contacts in the NCPD.
Hmm.
He was kind of like the face, you know. Rick kind of came off as to the point, and Pablo was a bit more, you know, talky. Huh?
Sociable.
Sociable, yeah, yeah.
Says,
As he's like listing all these things off, Striga pulls out like a little notepad and a pen. He's like writing things down. A lot of people take notes in their agents, but Striga knows that if you take notes on paper, you can get rid of the paper later.
What a fucking nerd.
oh man.
Sugar says that.
Hmm.
Yeah, Striga
But
is
she's-
like completely oblivious that you're like referring to them.
But she's like saying it like, what a fucking nerd. Like in a like, aww, cute.
You're like, how quaint.
Yeah. So, something that Sugar would be curious about too is any place that Nick might know of where, you know, important data might be found.
Important data. I don't know. I know they have a runner. God, what the fuck was that guy's name? Crazy stooge out of Pacifica. Jamaican, I think? Can't remember his name. Fuck. He kind of looks at you blankly. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. He was Jamaican or something, from Pacifica. He ran with a crew out there, and then he kind of came over and started doing work with Pablo, mainly.
But so he wasn't a Sixth Streeter.
He was, but he wasn't before. And you kind of like are putting two and two together. He probably means Haitian, and he probably means Voodoo Boy.
Oh, that's not where my mind was going at all.
What's his name?
He doesn't know the name of the runner, but he's saying that the runner that Pablo had affiliated with him used to be a Voodoo Boy.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was assuming. Also, kind of racist. Not everyone that's from Pacifica is Jamaican, buddy.
Oh no, he says
No, it's too late. You're canceled.
He drives his motorcycle off into the sun,
Yeah. Yeah, Sugar's eyes like do their thing.
and not like not like a cowboy riding off into the sun. I mean like up and into the fiery ball of flame. It does.
Oh, okay. Because it's midday.
because it's midday. Right. You can't ride off to the sun on the horizon if it's up there, for sure. But no, in seriousness, he explains the gentleman to you, and you actually kind of go, oh, okay, that does make sense. He could be mistaken for Jamaican. Always with a joint in his hand. More stereotypes, right?
You digging the hole deeper and deeper. We gotta move it along.
Dreadlocks, Jamaican flag shirts all the time. Yeah, very much a bobsled.
Bobsled.
No, but the way he explains the gentleman to you, you do understand that he is explaining a Jamaican, but from what he's described of the person's job and affiliation, he's more likely Haitian because the Voodoo Boys are Haitians
Yeah.
in Pacifica.
Sure, John.
No, I'm fair enough. Let's go back to the ramen restaurant. I'm just gonna. Oh, who's Ballard? They're saying they're driving. No, I'm going to cancel. No. Anyways, I'm super canceled. We had a person watching. Ah.
Oh no.
Anywho, point is, Netrunner, more than likely a Voodoo Boy based on description, and worked with Pablo. Don't know where he is. Don't know where to find him. Don't even know his name or handle.
Red Eyes.
No, that person's dead.
Red Eyes died?
Red Eye died.
Didn't even know that.
There's Blue Eyes.
Red Eye died
I
in the
know Blue-
Patreon game.
I know Blue Eyes is still around.
Yeah, Blue Eyes is plural. Red Eyes was singular, but she's dead.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, they killed her. The Patreon team.
I mean, sick. Also dead.
Anywho, that being said, we kind of have an understanding of what the next process is. We want to get into the combat zone, but we don't want to go into the combat zone without prep. Lots of prep.
Or Icarus.
Also
Or,
Icarus.
At full health.
Sure.
Maybe even a crystal if they.
That happens. I get you. So what I'm going to go ahead and say, there's like 7 more minutes before my normal end time. I'm going to go ahead and call it for the evening. We're going to discuss in our Discord what happens with the next session, whether it's going to shift to a Series 8 or if we're going to continue Series 7 in this allotment. We'll also discuss other things. And thanks for watching those that did. And we should see you next week with something. We'll see what happens when we do. See you then.
Bye.